Beat kicks in, inspired by the Stranger Things theme. This is Tommy Truthful. Truth Mafia in the mix. We're running up the road, chasing answers to this. Is it science or ritual? Dimensions collide. Welcome to the upside down, where shadows reside. It doesn't hurt me. You wanna feel how it feels to look through the veil, see the secrets they conceal. Do you wanna know about the deal they're making? With fallen angels, dimensions awaken. Turns a portal open in Dimension X, merging the upside down with the world that's next. Is this what the elites are summoning through? Nibiru, the dark star, pulling strings in the blue. You and me trapped in the Stranger Things scene, but the truth's more twisted than it seems. Swapping places with the unknown and the strange, playing with God's plan, trying to rearrange. And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God. I'd get him to stop their plot. No running up that road, no running up that hill, no bridges to the dark side. Their plans would stand still. If I only could, I'd stop the portals from spilling through. No upside down merging with the view. You don't wanna hurt me, but feel the thunder inside. The clash of realms where secrets collide. They say it's science, but it's something more. CERN's a stargate to a darker door. Nibiru's rising, the shadow star reigns. Archons and entities unleashed on our plane. The energy harvest, rituals they keep, feeding off fear while the masses sleep. See how deep the bullet lies, unaware, it's tearing us apart inside. They blurred the lines, no love in their art, just hatred and chaos to tear us apart. And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God. I'd stop him from swapping our odds. No running up that road, no running up that hill, no upside down, merging with their will. If I only could, I'd close the gates and the spell they cast. No more nightmares from the past. Come on, angel, come on, darling. Let's steal this moment from their controlling. Come on, angel, come on, darling. Let's stop the merging, let's rewrite the story. Lights are flickering, shadows align, entities rising, it's almost time. But Truth Mafia's here, we're exposing the games, unmasking the rituals, calling their names. And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God. I'd get him to stop their fraud. No running up that road, no running up that hill, no portals to darkness. Their plans would stand still. If I only could, I'd close the gates, break their spell. No more shadows rising from hell. Find your role in the simulation, decode your name, get your Gematria reading, see the game. Head to TruthfulTV.com, the link's in my bio, in the description on all platforms. Follow and dive though. Tommy Truthful, leading Truth Mafia's fight, exposing the upside down and shining the light. Find your role in the simulation, decode your name, get your Gematria reading, see the game. Head to TruthfulTV.com, the link's in my bio, in the description on all platforms. Follow and dive though. Tommy Truthful, leading Truth Mafia's fight, exposing the upside down and shining the light.
Reality is a code. I am the glitch that reveals its secrets. Tommy Truthful.
And can you hear me? Is there sound now? Let's see if there's sound now. Mic check, 1, 2. Oh man, how long was we without sound? Was we without sound for a minute? Oh shit, that's terrible. Oh well. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll just trim it after the end. That's all. We'll just trim that part out and because I ain't restarting it. So the only bad part is on Rumble. I'll have to erase it on Rumble and then re-upload it on there. But no big deal. No worries. I'll just trim that out and fix it. So let's get into it. You guys probably didn't hear nothing I was saying then that whole time. But that was actually my fault too. I forgot to add the damn audio after the intro went out. So there's a lot of things going on in the world right now, right? 2040, the whole thing I spewed on 2040, you guys didn't even hear, did you? All right, so but a lot of people have been saying different times is really 2012. Like 2023, everybody was saying 2023 was 2012. Then a lot of people right now are saying 2025 is the real 2012. So last night, when I seen this video going viral about 2040 being the end of the world, I said, well, let me go look and see what this lines up with and find out when the real 2012 is. Because we used to go by a 360 day a year solar calendar. And guess what year it is right now, guys? If we go back and don't ever change the timeline, right? And remember, in the Bible it said they will change the laws and the times of the Most High. I think it was all to throw us off from the timeline in these global resets. And that thing looking on the screen right there, that's supposed to be like some tsunami looking cloud over in Asia frozen in the sky. I didn't mean to have that up there right now. Let me take that off. That's not even part of the presentation for now. But so right now we're actually in 1995, right? And if 2040 is the end of the year, the end of the world, 2025 is not 2012. It will put us in, guess when? 2040. 2040 actually to 2041, the end of 2040, like around December time to early January of 2041, right in that period, for like kind of right now. And in December 17th is the beginning of Saturnalia. That's why we're seeing all these rituals going on right now. It's the beginning of Saturnalia, and it's the Pope's birthday. And you know, these elites are part of a Saturn death cult. So, first of all, we had a major power outage in Las Vegas. This was on the 13th. Did you guys see this? They were blaming on a bunch of different stuff. This little power outage in Las Vegas. They're going to start ramping up more and more and more and more as the electromagnetic energy is getting worse and worse. So that's going on. Drones everywhere. They're not giving us no explanation on the drones. We just had a major earthquake in Ohio, which is very rare for here. But I told you guys this was going to start happening because the twin eclipses that made the X over the New Madrid fault line in that New Madrid subduction zone there, we had some of the worst earthquakes ever in the 1800s due to that New Madrid fault line. And they're going to ramp up. Chicago, St. Louis, Ohio. I mean, it was real. this one here. How many of my people out there in the comments are in Ohio? Did you notice it? I ain't gonna lie, I didn't notice it at all. I didn't feel no damn. I probably slept through it though. You know me. I probably did 500 milligrams of edibles and slept right through that thing. But I guess we had a significant one. This was over in Germany. They're blowing up a bridge. So every other week I look now, I see a new bridge going down. Either they're blowing them up or they're collapsing on their own. And you know what this means, guys. We're getting ready for the grand finale, the big boy out in the Bay Area. You know, we're getting closer and closer to that. And there's a symbolic connection here, too, to the collapsing of all these bridges tied to the Bifrost Bridge and the collapsing of the bridges between the worlds. This gets into CERN and all that. But before we get into 2040 and the timeline that I'm going to show you, a really big catch that I caught was this tornado that happened out in your neck of the woods, Rhonda. So I heard you had a tornado out there. I almost called you the other day out in California, right? And look at this. Look at the tornado. Do you guys notice anything? Where did the twister happen? The twister spun down on Mount Hermon Road. Are you kidding me? At 1:44 p.m.? Are you joking right now? Tornadoes is 666, 144, the 144,000 elect, and then Mount Hermon is where the 200 fallen angels descended. Remember, guys? And we just had, I couldn't even believe this. I seen this story. I said, oh man, this is crazy. This is HAARP if I ever seen, we just had that story with freaking Mount Hermon. Don't you guys remember where Israel invaded and Syria, the new regime fell. So Israel's over there just stealing shit, taking shit over like they do, and shout out to my Jewish people. I have nothing against Jewish people. I love Jewish people, but your country is a bunch of Zionist dictators, and they're very evil. Not to mention that most of them at the top that are running that country are Satanists too. They don't believe in Judaism. And this don't go for all Jewish people. I'm talking about the Zionist dictator regime that is at the top that are murdering Palestinians and murdering people in Yemen and murdering everybody in Syria and just murdering people. That's how they get down over there. But now they're stealing more land, which they said it was their land originally, but I don't know how that is. They said, oh, it's part of ancient Israel. Well, there was no ancient Israel. What the hell are you talking about? Until 1947, that shit was called Palestine. And in the Bible before that, it was called Canaan. Okay? So you guys named it Israel after World War II. Let's just keep it 100. Which Israel is Isis, Ra, and El. Israel. Spell it out. That's what it is. It's the three gods, Isis, Ra, and El. So we just had this story where they're battling over Mount Hermon on the 33rd parallel, and that happened on December 8th, the 128 code, the same day Leave the World Behind came out, right? And now we have a tornado hit over in California in a location they never have no damn tornadoes. And it just so happens to go down Mount Hermon Road. Like, come on, man. And tornadoes are 666 too, guys. I mean, it's kind of comical, ain't it? It's kind of freaking comical. Look at this. 1719 on that truck right there. I seen that little slick shit. There's been a lot of 17 coatings too, which gets into Nibiru. See that? The 1719 on the truck. And but the real telling thing there is the Mount Hermon Road. The twister spun down on Mount Hermon Road in the heart of Santa Cruz County. Who lives out in that area in the chat? Anyone? Jay Dreams, what's up, my brother? Me and Jay got a little Jay, the whole intro of this, bro. Don't you hate when you do that, brother? When you do a video and then the sound, you forget to turn the damn sound on or something. So the first probably minute to 2 minutes of my video, there's no sound. And still now I'm 18 minutes in and it's still bothering me. You know what I'm saying, brother? I almost wanted to turn the video off and completely start over, but that'd be too much work. So, especially now, all I can do now is edit that out. It'll be easy to edit out on Facebook and not too hard on YouTube either. The problem will be Rumble. I'll have to re-download it after I edit it on Facebook and then re-upload it to Rumble. That'll be a whole headache. But hey, whatever. Rumble should give us an option to where we can freaking edit a video. I mean, come on, Rumble, get with it. There's my homegirl, Serena. Go get some of Serena's water. It's amazing. Change your life. Let me tell you, she got some amazing water over there. I need another case, girl. I need another case of that water. Just tell me how much to pay you, and I will pay for it. That's some good-ass water right there. I drunk it. She sent me a whole case of it. I forget how many was in the case, but that's the only water I drunk for like a month straight, and that shit had me feeling amazing. So, you know, I need some more of that in my life. Thank you for sending that too. But yeah, you know, Jay, I hate when that happens. And we're gonna have a watch party, me and Jay, on Zack Snyder's Justice League. I even made up some cool artwork on it, guys. And we're gonna get into the 12-strand DNA, people getting superpowers, the plasma apocalypse, how that movie connects to it. I think I'm not exactly sure on the date yet. I think we're going to do it on the 26th, the day after Christmas, but I got to triple check with Jay on that. But yeah, it's going to be fun because you guys will be able to watch it with us. And go check out my boy Jay Dreamers over on his YouTube. He broke 100,000. Go show him some love. Go subscribe to him. Even if you're an Archaics fan, go over there and subscribe still. We don't get into all that over here. You can love Archaics and Jay. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? That's dumb shit to me. But yeah, go show him some love over there. He's got some amazing stuff. And you'll be able to watch that movie with us on our Rumble. It's like 3 hours long though, but there's so much amazing predictive programming in that movie, Justice League by Zack Snyder. It's about CERN, the portals, these entities. There's so much in it that we're going to get into. And again, you'll get to watch it live as we break it down. The same robot I showed you in that. Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell you. The robot I showed you guys in that little AI video I made showing you guys all the different Terminators coming out. Remember the little ball that floated in the water, could go over any terrain? Well, now they rolled it out. It's in China. It is now their police robot. That's the stupidest little robot, but I guess it's pretty fast and it will catch you. So, you know, be careful out there in China for their robots. And before we get into 2040 and this timeline, which Jay, bro, if we go by the 360-day year solar calendar, bro, we're really in 1995 right now. So 2012 would be 2040 to 2041 in that time frame. which I did a whole breakdown on it and got all the data points and everything. We'll get into it in a second. But before we get into that, I'm going to play this little clip of what they're saying about the drones. Because the drones, yeah, man, it's still going hard out here with these freaking drones. I mean, they're not telling us much, are they, guys?
Christmas travel rush just days away. Overnight, the government released a rare joint statement from multiple agencies about those drone sightings, saying we have not identified anything anomalous and do not assess the activity to present a national security or public safety risk over the civilian airspace in New Jersey or other states in the Northeast, though the push continues for answers about thousands of sightings.
We want to make sure our skies are protected, and we don't want anyone using drones that's going to be harmful.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is pushing for legislation to give states more authority to deal with drones.
It is extraordinary to me that a nation as great as ours and as powerful as ours has the deficiencies that we have now seen in living color as it relates to drone incursions.
The NYPD.
Well, you guys are deficient in a lot of things. That's a good word you used there. You're very deficient.
Says many of the tips they've investigated are actually planes, helicopters, even planets. President-elect Trump is suggesting, without offering evidence, that the...
What? Did they really just say that? What we're seeing are planes, helicopters, and even planets. Now planets are flying around. Like, come on, man.
Government or military knows more about the drones than they're saying.
Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense.
Adding that he's canceled a weekend trip to his New Jersey club because of the sightings.
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster.
Some lawmakers, Democrats and Republicans, remain frustrated with the federal response.
I won't let the federal government insult the American people and claim they aren't seeing things that they're seeing with their own two eyes.
Meanwhile, a company specializing in drone radar, Robin Radar.
Guys, take my advice right now. Jay, if you play the stocks, trust me when I tell you this. Remember when that hacking happened and I told you guys to invest in that site that they mentioned, and then I invested in it and I made like $4,000 and I try to tell y'all to invest in it. So what you do is you get in and then you dump it once it booms. How much you want to bet this shit right here, Robin Radar, is going to go skyrocket in the next couple months? I'm investing in that shit tomorrow. Robin Radar
is now working with the New Jersey State Police. How can your technology help the New Jersey State Troopers?
They will be able to detect an object in the sky and also provide some data analysis of what, in fact, that object is.
You mean we don't have that technology as America already? We need Robin Radar's drone technology. We can't just identify it with our own shit.
It's going and possibly its origins.
There are 1 million registered drones in this country right now, and the FAA points out drones are legal in daylight and at night. The FAA requires they remain under 400 feet. They must stay at least 5 miles from airports and restricted areas and must be in the line of sight of the drone operator, and that drone operator needs a license for larger drones and any commercial activity.
Yep, watch. We're going to have some new laws coming out about drones. Mark my words. There's something here we're not quite seeing. You know, they're going to pass some new laws on drones. Why? I don't know, but I will look into it. Shout out to Jason. What's up, bro? Shout out to everybody in the comments. Yeah, I guarantee you they're going to be coming out with some new stuff. You know, I've seen all kinds of different videos. I couldn't verify them, though. So there's some I'm not sharing, like on TikTok. I seen some drones spraying chemtrails, but I don't know if that was an AI video or that's real. Who knows? I wouldn't put it past the government, though. But why would they need the drone to spray the chemtrails? They got the damn planes doing that, right? But they could very well have some drones spraying chemtrails. I don't know. I just couldn't verify if that was true or not. So I decided not to play that video, but you can find it quite easily on China's website, TikTok. They take me down for anything I put up there on TikTok. Any video I put up, I get taken down and flagged instantly. Yeah, Skynet is live, man. That's true. The stupidest shit they said is that some of them are planets. Like, come on, man. We ain't no planet up there flying around, dude. You guys sound dumb saying that shit. They even spray at night now. Yeah, they do. They've been spraying us. So that's nothing new, right? Nothing new. And all that, I think it all goes with their rollout of these robots and everything that's going on with the smart cities, the smart grid, all of it with why they're spraying. And I think it goes with the portals too, guys, because I found some crazy connections to Dimension X. Remember, we're always talking about Dimension X. I really believe Nibiru is not a planet on an elliptical orbit with the sun. I believe it's a dimension. And during these cyclical events that we go through, that Jay talks about, the plasma apocalypse, there's some alignment that happens that allows them to open up these stargates. And that's when they open up Dimension X. I think they're trying to open it up now. And when I was watching Stranger Things, I started looking through. I'm like, wait a second. There's a Dimension X in Stranger Things? I knew there was an upside down, but then there's a Dimension X too, which is where Henry Creel went. Remember, guys? The one that 11 was kicking his ass and threw him into a dimension. Everybody thought she threw him into the upside down. Well, no, she threw him in to freaking Dimension X, and that's where he went in there and joined the hive mind with all them entities, and that got us Vecna, which Vecna is the same archetype as Freddy Krueger. I got a whole breakdown on that for you too. We're gonna get into, but Dimension X was also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that's what Nibiru is. It's not a planet, it's a freaking dimension. So let's share this screen so I can show you guys what I'm talking about with 2040, show you this video that's going viral now. We can get into it. Jay, what are you doing tonight? You doing any videos? You should have jumped up on here with me, bro. I'd have sent you the link. You could have slid up on here. We could have kicked it. All right. So, and guys, you can find Jay over here too. Just go right here. Boom. Slide down. And right here's his channel, Jay Dreamers. Look at his little smile right there. He's smiling. The future is the past. That came out of December 15th. He released that one. Phantom Land. And Jay, this one, I got this late because I seen you did this like a month ago, but it uploaded on my software recently. And that's why I wrote you that thing the other day, because I didn't see it until, recently. I don't know why it didn't pop up. And then I got two of these ones. Sometimes that happens. It's very bizarre. I don't know what the heck. Well, look, and I got two of them ones. So I guess I got it when you originally dropped it, Jay, on September 29th. By the way, September 29th, 929. That's the day CERN was originally established. Holy shit, Jay, look at this. We got three of them from you, bro. And this one a couple times. And this. Whoa, what is going on Jay's channel? Okay, we're having some technical difficulties over here on Jay Dreamer's channel. I'm going to have to figure that out. That is not normal, but I will get to the bottom of that and fix that, Jay. So I don't know why it's doing that. We developed some AI technology that pulls all these videos, guys, off the YouTube channels. This is the last one me and Jay did, and it's at like 50,000 views on my Facebook. People really liked it. Jay did a phenomenal job at breaking down that movie, Red One, I was with them on that one. But we have some technical difficulties here and there because the technology that I developed, it'll go on your YouTube, pull your video, transcribe it, put your thumbnail in there, and it's AI doing it. So it's gonna mess up here and there. But it does pretty good. It cost me $2.40 per video, and we have anywhere from 30 to 50 videos going up. So you do the math. That's around 40 grand a year just for the videos. Boom, Jacob Israel dropped this one. But I've noticed that we'll have, and look, now Jacob's got 2 of them. So see, it's tweaking out right now. Look at this, guys. My technology's tweaking out right now. It put Jacob up there twice. It put Jay up there numerous times. It's doing something crazy. Okay, we'll get to the bottom of this. I promise you that. There's Billy Carson. Billy Carson and Wes Huff debate. That was the funniest shit I ever seen. I watched that this morning for the first time. People kept sending it to me, but I wasn't watching it because I really didn't care. And then I had to watch it. I was bored, sitting at a doctor's appointment, and this is the trending section. Don't forget to come check out the trending section. We got my boy Edge of Wonder over here, Nuclear Threat or Project Blue Beam. What is this one? Dabo 7. Here's mine already uploaded. I don't know what the hell this is. Memes analysis, put that up. He's on some other shit right there with that one. That's Band.video. End Times Productions. They do some phenomenal work. Really good work. But he I love his work and salute him 100%. But he thinks that Trump is coming to save him, and I disagree. I just don't think Trump's coming to save us. But here's a video, The Dark Truth on New Jersey drones. This guy, he's a Spanish guy. He wears a mask all the time. He's pretty cool though. He does really good videos. And then my boy Disclosure Hub, he does some pretty good videos as well. So you see many people over here are covering the whole drone situation. You can find all this over on truthmafia.com. I do apologize for the multiple uploads. I'll get to the bottom of that and get it fixed. It's just a glitch with the AI. It's no big deal. I'll figure it out. But let's get into this video. It does irritate me, though. Freaking AI is probably doing it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust this damn AI as far as I can throw it. So anyways, let's read my blog part first. Let's not forget that we used to go by a 360-day year solar count. Can you guys see this good? Or do you want me to zoom in? Zoom in for you a little. Is that better? Hold on, let me look on my phone. Make sure. It's a good picture. All right. Yeah, we can see that pretty good, right? Damn, look at all these people texting me right now. Okay. Let's not forget that we used to go by a 360-day year solar calendar. So even the timeline is off. When everyone was talking about the world ending in 2012 and then nothing happened, that was all done on purpose. We were warned in the Bible because they wanted us. Then when everybody is talking about it and nothing happened, people kind of left it alone. They're like, okay, that didn't happen. No one looked into it no more. No one looked to see if they actually changed the damn timeline. A few people did, a few smart people, but not many. We were warned in the Bible in Daniel that they will change the times. It said he will speak out against the Most High and oppress the saints of the Most High, intending to change the appointed times and the laws, and the saints will be given into his hand for a time and times and a half of times. So we were already warned that they were going to change the timeline. Now, we had the 360-day a year ancient calendar that the Egyptians went by, the Sumerians went by it, the Babylonians went by it. Then let me tell you, God never wrote Rome a letter saying, "Hey, Julius Caesar, by the way, can you change the calendar?" No one told him to do this, so he just decided to do this shit on his own, right? And it was in 46 BCE. 46 is order out of chaos. You take the 2 degrees of Freemasonry, the Scottish Rite, which is the red, it represents the solar energy, the sun, it's the male energy. Then you have the York, which is the blue, Isis, the moon, the female energy, the water. And the York has 13 degrees, the Scottish Rite has 33. Add them together, what do you get? 46, which we have 23 chromosomes from our mother, 23 from our father, which is 46. So by 46 BCE, under Julius Caesar's rule, the Romans adopted the Julian calendar. And this calendar is the one that took us to 365 days a year and introduced a leap year every 4 years to account for the additional 0.25 days in the solar year. This is what they're telling us. I'm not saying any of their math or any of that is true. Most of it's bullshit, but this is just what they tell us, right? So then we had the Gregorian calendar in 1582 under Pope Gregory, whatever the fuck. The Catholic Church reformed the Julian calendar into the Gregorian calendar. This reform was necessary, they said, because the slight inaccuracy in the Julian calendar had caused the dates of the spring equinox to drift over the century. So like right now, it would be December 4th, I think, instead of December 17th, right? If we were going by that one. So it would have messed up a little bit after a few centuries. So the Julian calendar introduced by Julius Caesar, then it gives you the problems, the impacts, all that, the adjustment of it, why they adjusted it, the accuracy, you can read all that part. The key differences of these different calendars. One removed 10 days in 1582. Also, Satan is 10. And then it would have been today's date would be about 13 days behind the Gregorian calendar. For instance, if today is December 17th in the Gregorian calendar, it would really be December 4th in the Julian calendar. So if we subtract the extra 5 days per year added since the switch, right, which took place in 46 BCE, that way you guys can do your own math. If we was still going by the 360-day year solar calendar, that will put us at approximately 1995 right now. Okay, so in this video up here, he says we have 17 years left. Now, this video was made in 2023, but for some reason, it's going viral again. And I'm telling you, AI is running freaking social media. It's running the news. It's running all of it. Because I keep catching it, recycling stories. Look, this just released 10 days ago. It was like one of the number one stories in the world. It was viral again. And then 26 days ago, they were talking about it. I think the original story came out 9 months ago. No, it was actually before 9 months ago because it was 2023. So they started talking about it again in 9 months ago, originally in 2023, then 26 days ago, then 10 days ago, right? And so if that was 17 years, which again, Nibiru 17, that will put us at 16 years now, right? So if we're in 1995 and we add that 16 years to it, that gives us what, guys? That will put us 10 would be 2005, and then 6 more is 11. So 2011, 2012 by 2040, because that's 16 years away. So that's where it puts us. That's the real, well, 2041 would be 2012, and the Mayans talked about the end of the Mayan calendar. And then, so I threw it in the Gematria, and 360-day solar calendar equals that famous 138 number. The signs of the second Christ coming is 138. And that's a year Archaics talks about, the 138. Jason from Archaics, he talks about these global cataclysms that happen in intervals of 138 years. Sometimes he says, like, I've interviewed him 3 different times and try to get him to tell me what he thinks it is. And he's said a couple different things. My theory on it is it's some type of HAARP type technology, geoengineering type technology that an advanced civilization has. They probably live in inner Earth. And although I did not find any connections to the 138 year intervals that he says, with these global collapses, I did find the connection to 138 with the calendar, 360-day year solar calendar equals 138, and that's in the pi cipher. But Donald Trump's 138, Donald J. Trump is 138, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe when his presidency was the beginning of these cyclical events happening, and now they're underground and they got AI up here running all this shit while they're in inner Earth already, with their advanced technologies, why we're seeing the aurora borealis more and more, right? So the timeline I found, like I said, it didn't go by 138 year intervals, some were 150. So we had Sumer, 2000 BC, then the Akkadian Empire. Well, let me go down here because it explains it better. Okay, right here. Sumer, Mesopotamia, the cause, environmental. Each time it was the environment, guys, showing that we go through these cyclical cataclysms, like Jay Dreams talks about all the time with the plasma apocalypse, right? Climate shift. They try to call it climate change now and say it's man-made, but it's not. It's something cyclical that happens. The Akkadian Empire was after Sumer. That one fell. And then we had the Old Kingdom in Egypt caused drought, famine, long periods of low Nile floods led to food shortages. That led to economic collapses and stuff like that. The climate change, a weakening of the monsoon system caused agricultural collapse. Each time. Look at this one: natural disasters, earthquakes. That was the Mycenaean civilization. But none of them was 138 year intervals. I was trying to find that connection. And I'm talking about major collapses, not like something little that happened. I wanted to see where major civilizations collapse that could have been a huge cataclysm or a major event. That's what I was looking for. So I might have left out a few things because there's a bunch of little things I could connect to the 138 years or 414 years or stuff like that. But I'm talking about major collapses. The Ottoman Empire, that one lasted for a long time, almost as long as the Roman Empire. And then that one collapsed 1923. And the most recent one we had was the British Empire in 1997, right? That one, that they didn't say that one was due to nothing with our weather or none, but it was a bunch of different things. I don't think it collapsed at all. That's my opinion. I think that one's still up and running pretty good, the British one. And I put a link to Archaix's website over here so you can see his theories on it. It should be right up here where I mentioned it. Somewhere on here is a link to his website, so you can see his theories, and he has some different timelines that he breaks down. I think I put it at the bottom or something, but this video up here is the one that is now going viral on many different platforms, and that's what made me look into this whole 2040 narrative. And if you know anything about the elite, they have to tell us what they're going to do. It's some form of universal law, right? There's many different theories on it. Some people believe it's part of psychological warfare. Other people believe it frees them karmically. So they do it in very deceptive ways. Now, whoever made this thumbnail, Jay, if you're still on here, bud, you know damn well they made this thumbnail with AI. And they did a terrible job. Because AI, you can tell it's AI. And I use AI all the time. But if you're going to use AI, you can take it into your Canva and fix it up. You know, I mean, look at it puts shit where it shouldn't be. Things ain't the right shape. So, and that's the thumbnail that went viral. A lot of people use that damn thumbnail too. So let's check the video out, guys. And here we go. Let's see here.
The fall of society was generally something that we would only see in movies, but if MIT scientists are correct, we will see it happen not on a screen, but right here on Earth.
We're near the end of our development of society, which has been going on for about 2,000 years. And we've reached levels of prosperity which carry the seeds of disruption.
Their study, conducted a long time ago, concluded that a collapse will occur in 2040. I was never a genius at math, but I think that means we have 17 years left.
The population will diminish. Right back here, less than it was in the year 1900. And at this stage, around about the year 2040, 2050, civilized life as we know it on this planet will cease to exist.
Now, I've heard people talk about collapses and doom and gloom predictions before.
By 2050, we will be just a few people who control a few things will be okay. All others will suffer in an immense manner.
But MIT, a reputable institute of technology, scientists in a system dynamics multivariate study, this is different to the regular pundits.
Although we showed many different scenarios, all of them show that growth stops sometime in the period of 2020 to, let's say, 2060. So soon. Will the current ideas about green industry avoid collapse? No possibility. Absolutely no possibility of that.
If these scientists are correct, which I'm not convinced of yet, what do they think the collapse is going to look like? Will it come from World War III, an AI takeover? Will it be starvation and lakes drying up? Is it going to be like 1929 Great Depression, but 10 times worse? But to see what it will look like, first we need to see why they're predicting this. Way back in 1970, a team of MIT scientists got together to study the future of humanity. They had this concern that civilization was growing too fast on a planet that had finite resources. Their question, was there a limit to societal growth, or can we just innovate our way into almost infinite growth?
Today we consume more than yesterday. Our children, if they live as we do, will use up resources more than twice as fast as we do. Such growth threatens to use up all the resources the Earth has to offer us.
Even if we solve problems like pollution, growth within a century or so would lead to widespread famine and social chaos.
Our new technologies tend to disrupt ecological cycles, to break them. Because of that, we are on a suicidal course.
So the test was conducted using these 5 basic factors: population, agricultural production, non-renewable resource depletion, industrial output, and pollution generation. They wanted to see what it would look like if we continue past trends into the future. Would it be a collapse, a slow decline, a plateau based on our current habits? Now, the first model that they produced was nicknamed the business as usual scenario. What happens if we keep going business as usual and make no changes? I guess the title of all of the headlines kind of gives us the answer.
As the century unfolds, industry grows, as does food production and population. But we're using up all our raw materials, the limited metals and fuel in the earth. These run out. Without fuel and metals for the factories, industry collapses. And without petrol and electricity, food production falls too. There's no food and mass.
I gotta pause it for a second because they're already lying. First of all, many of these things that they say run out do not run out. Secondly, there's free energy. We can pull energy right out of the atmosphere. So, you know what I mean?
Unemployment. So the population falls. People are dying.
Essentially, we run out of natural resources, we all begin to starve, and society collapses. Oh, thank you, MIT, for that very rosy forecast. How optimistic of you. And then just to make sure we all stay equally depressed, a KPMG analyst followed this up in 2020 and concluded that we're on track as per MIT's forecast.
They warned that business as usual would lead to global collapse. I thought it would be interesting to see how that model had fared. After all, we had a couple of decades worth of empirical data, and we're most closely aligned with business as usual too. Then that means that right now we are at peak welfare.
Okay, this is all getting a bit much. Either there is something wrong with MIT studies and Gaia's follow-up research, or we should start preparing for end times ASAP, start buying up cans of beans, toilet paper, find some safe place to avoid the collapse. Is this why the super rich are putting millions of dollars into the luxury doomsday?
Why do they always say toilet paper? The whole Corona thing, remember? Toilet paper was a major talking point in that series Evil, the last season. Remember, Kristen Bouchard and her children ordered all them boxes of toilet paper? There's something weird with that, too. They keep bringing that up.
Bunkers.
Millionaire preppers, a high-tech way to avoid the apocalypse. Welcome to the survival condo. Inside, this 54,000 square foot complex boasts everything you could need to live through the end of days.
Maybe, maybe not. But at the time of making the study, the 4 scientists knew that there was going to be many skeptics and doubters. And one of the obvious issues is, well, what happens if we discover more resources? Find more oil reserves, more resource-rich mines. Maybe Mr. Beast plants 20 billion extra trees instead of 20 million. So the scientists doubled the resource base for their second model, which they thoughtfully named Business as Usual 2. Will there still be a collapse if we assume double Earth's known resources?
So they ran the computer to see what would happen if we solved the resources problem that caused the crisis in the first run.
This time, natural resources used carefully run down slowly, but industry continues to grow. This industrial growth produces a serious pollution problem. Pollution attacks both people and plants. Crops cannot grow, and farming starts to fail. The population starts to collapse when people die of hunger and pollution. Industry, without a workforce, collapses too.
In this case, the model shows we don't collapse from depleting natural resources, but we do collapse from excessive pollution. The pollution destroys food production, and then we all die of hunger. Well, not all of us, but a proportion of us. If I didn't have depression already, I'm sure I've got it now after reading this study. Their main conclusion is that we're growing too fast as a society and there's not enough food or natural resources or unpolluted spaces to keep going the way we are.
There cannot be indeterminate growth on a finite planet.
The world is running out of many things that it needs.
The grim truth that I think we're not facing is that our civilization is now beginning to collapse.
But humans are innovative, aren't we? If a problem comes, we find a solution. If it starts to rain, we build a shelter. If it got dark, we invented the light bulb. Heck, we invented a flying metal object to traverse the seas. If you watch TV, it may look like we're dumb as a plank of wood, but overall, we're pretty smart and creative. Surely we can innovate solutions to Earth's growing pains. According to MIT, yes and no. They conducted a third scenario of the study, which they named Comprehensive Technologies, where they tested the outcome if we have incredibly high future technological innovation. So if we go by the original study, they said no, even with 100 Elon Musks, we'll still see a massive collapse in food and outputs. However, they did do a 30-year update in the year 2000, where they said, actually, our initial test was a bit off. They made a new test, which concludes if we have comprehensive technologies around 2050, we're still going to see an overshoot and collapse in industrial output and a depletion of resources, but it won't be like that bad, and our food resources will recover. So thank you, MIT, for at least a somewhat optimistic forecast. Elon Musk, though, you got to get to work. We need you to start reproducing more. 10 kids? No, that's not enough. Make that 1,000 replicas and the collapse won't be that bad. But even so, if we do have high technological innovation, MIT say there is still a collapse intrinsically baked in. Is there any scenario, MIT, where we don't see a collapse? Apparently there's only one solution, and I'm going to tell you one thing, you're not going to like it.
They found that if you could
Hey, he has the same microphone as me.
control everything, including industrial production, no crisis emerged. What is being suggested is that the only way to ensure the future for our grandchildren is to stop getting richer. Only then will there be the resources and the unpolluted world that they will need to survive.
There's going to have to be a shift away from an emphasis on material goods to one on the social services.
The fourth iteration of the study tests what happens if society shifts from growth to social welfare focused. If so, MIT's models show we'll see more of an S-curve scenario as opposed to the traditional Gaussian overshoot and collapse. In this scenario, around 2040, instead of a sharp downturn, things stabilize and plateau. Population matures, industrial output maintains itself, food goes up and then stabilizes, and pollution dies down, and resources get used up at a more manageable rate. But this will mean the world and all of the nations in it change their governance systems from growth-focused to social welfare-focused. And when I say the world, they mean all of the countries have to do this, not just one.
Oh, wow. This sounds like some communist, socialist propaganda bullshit right here. Now, I believe the 2040 thing, something major is going to happen, but I don't believe this is the answer to it.
Which means losing some sovereignty and all adopting a similar way of thinking.
Oh.
Dr. Alexander King, Director of the World Bank and the United Nations OECD. Dr. King, now you're describing the world as a closed system where all these things are interrelated, and yet the government, the control of the system is by individual nation states. Now, how do you convince them to cooperate?
The sovereignty of these nations is no longer as absolute as it was. There's a gradual diminishing, whittling away of sovereignty, little bit by little bit. Especially, of course, in the smaller countries where it's more obvious. But the bigger countries have to do a good deal of this by agreeing to international arrangements for the law of the seas, or for the limits of fishing, or for control of the wavelengths in radio, and 101 other things.
Now, I have to say, optically, it looks bad when they say, we need to control everything, we need to run the system, and that's how we're going to avoid a collapse. The only thing you need to do is limit your growth and national independence. And if you don't, you're intrinsically bad and destroying the planet and going to cause a collapse. Yeah, okay, no worries. I'll eat the bugs. You dine on the steak. I'll own nothing and be happy. Anything else you want me to do? Not exactly going to be the first person in line to sign up. I'm all for reducing the piles of waste and pollution and trying to keep our lakes pristine and natural resources plentiful, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, that sounds good. You know, I'm down with that too. I agree with them. You know, we should start to move towards clean energy. I mean, that's just common sense, right? But we should be using free energy, Nikola Tesla's energy. Then we wouldn't have this problem anyways. And guys, it's not us doing it. We're not the ones polluting the rivers. We're not the ones dumping this toxic sludge into the drinking water. It's them doing it. The elites, the 1%, they're the ones poisoning everything, destroying everything. You know, I mean, yes, some of us do litter and stuff like that, but I mean, this sounds like a socialist propaganda. And I'm not saying, shout out to the guy that created the video. He did a phenomenal job at this. But I'm talking about their agenda and their answers to the problem.
Mind keeping my sovereignty, thank you.
I'd like some freedom, please.
Now, I gotta say, after reading this report, it didn't exactly leave me hopeful about the future of humanity. You're telling me that if we don't change to a social service-oriented society from a growth one, then we're gonna experience some type of collapse? But human beings have always tried to grow. Always, whether we were hunter-gatherers building a tribe or in business doing anything to grow our profit margins, it's almost instinctive to us. So are we just destined for a collapse? And if so, what might that collapse look like? I know the fall of Rome came from invasions and high inflation, Egypt from a 150-year mega drought, dinosaurs became extinct, while they say from an asteroid. So, MIT, how was this collapse
I like how he said that, so they say.
going to come about?
It seems obvious to us that decline, if it does come, will be experienced at different times and in different ways in various societies. The United States might conceivably have a natural resource problem, while Japan could fail to cure its pollution problems and be led into difficulty that way. Some of the less industrialized areas at the same time might be having a food crisis.
It's almost like they're saying, pick your poison, which one do you want? I always thought that society would crumble from the degeneration of morals and then just a slow migration out of the poorly run countries. But apparently no, it's not going to be as pleasant as that. And it doesn't exactly leave you feeling great about humanity's future when they consistently say things will fall apart.
The world is in a completely unstable situation and is likely to fall to pieces if it doesn't stop growing.
And I know we're meant to think, oh, MIT scientists, they're the leaders in their field. We've got to trust their prediction. However, going through the study, there were some things that put me off on it and therefore put me off on their prediction. Here's why I have a bit more hope for humanity than they do. The sneaky thing that I noticed was they actually changed their original prediction, and no one's called them out on this before. A lot of the original graphs from the 1970 study predicted a collapse at the start of 2000. They weren't crystal clear on the timeline x-axis, but you can see the collapse comes from around 2000, 2010, 2020. And then when 2000 actually came along, they wrote a new book and they changed their prediction and they pushed it back to 2040.
Since the mid-'60s, we've been on a campaign to demoralize people. I think it started with the Club of Rome types who claimed that the world was overpopulated and that we were all headed to hell in a handbasket, and there's no evidence that any of that is true. I mean, the idea was that by the year 2000, everyone would be starving to death.
Since the dawn of human time, people have warned about the collapse of humankind. Assyrians warned on a clay tablet in 2800 BC that Earth is degenerate in these later days. There are signs that the world is speedily coming to an end. Thomas Malthus predicted in his 1798 essay that population growth would eventually outstrip the availability of resources, leading to widespread famine and societal collapse. Pope Innocent III predicted that the world would end 666 years after the rise of Islam.
And this guy, he was a real nut job. The world would end 666 years after the rise of Islam. And many said the Vatican actually created Islam. Now, I'm not saying that's true or not, but there are theories out there that they created all three of the Abrahamic religions. I'm not saying they created Allah. Allah is Sin. That's his name, Sin. It's a moon god that goes, I think he's the son of Enlil. And the person that created this video that we're watching is Cooper Academy. Shout out to them, Cooper Academy. They got some great videos. They actually created this original video a year ago, guys. And now all the channels are picking it up and resharing it. So why is it going viral again? That's my question.
In 1618.
We might have 100 years on Earth at the rate we're going.
Oh, look at that. The man who knows how Earth will end. And what do you see on there, guys? Neil deGrasse Tyson's always going up against flat earthers. He's always standing up for that, right? Saying that we really landed on the moon. And look at the time, 2038. What's that equal? 238 in numerology. They say from the Earth to the moon is 238,000 miles, allegedly. And after they killed JFK, John F. Kennedy, they swore in Lyndon Johnson on Air Force One at 2:38 p.m. And JFK was killed in a Mercury ritual. Mercury is the god of transportation. He was killed in a car. Then Lyndon Johnson sworn in on an airplane. It's all tied to Mercury. It was a Mercury ritual. But yeah, that 238, that number is tied to TV magic. So when you see that, they're usually doing some type of spell on you.
Reality is that human beings love a good prediction, and most of these past predictions have been wrong. The MIT study was done 50 years ago, and things have actually gone pretty well since then. World hunger has dramatically reduced, with almost 2/3 less people undernourished in developing nations. Infant survival is up 70%, life expectancy is 11% higher, and almost everyone has a smartphone and access to an unfathomable amount of information that past kings could only dream of. So yes, population has exponentially grown at a crazy rate. They were right on that.
Population now doubles in 30 years.
The problem is that it can exponentially fall too. Now some academics are saying underpopulation, not overpopulation, will be a major problem.
And yet so many people, including smart people, think that there are too many people in the world and think that the population is growing out of control. It's completely the opposite. Please look at the numbers. If people don't have more children, civilization is going to crumble.
I think that the biggest problem the world will face in 20 years is population collapse. Not explosion, collapse.
And the decrease in population will not come from not enough food and then starvation, thank goodness, but from choice.
Yeah, well, when you guys did your population control for the last decades, genociding all of us, what'd you think was going to happen?
Choosing to have less kids than we were 50 years ago. Now, I'm 28 and most of my friends don't have kids. Some don't even want kids. My parents' generation, everyone wanted at least 2 or 3 kids minimum. I mean, my grandpa had 6 kids who themselves had 4 or 5 kids of their own. So there's been a huge cultural shift that's occurred. We may have a crisis on our hand, but it's not exactly in the way that MIT predicted.
We are going to face in the mid part of the century, and particularly the latter part of the century, a demographic implosion, the likes of which we haven't seen, including the Black Plague.
Oh, well, I've thought for at least 10 years that the biggest problem in 50 years will be that there's just not enough people.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you genocide people. That'll happen. So, what do you expect? Now, let me give that guy some credit who made that video real quick. Cooper Academy. This is him right here, guys. Cooper Academy. Shout out to him. The link is in the description of the video. And he's got some other videos he put up. He just did this one 3 days ago on Warren Buffett for a crash like 2007. He does pretty good videos. You know, some of his opinions I agree with, some I don't, but that's with anyone. I mean, some of my best friends that are members of the Truth Mafia, I agree with, and others I do not. Did you guys see Oliver Anthony came out with a new song too? Right here. Man, that one is hard. Mama's Been Hurting. I shared it to the community the day it came out. When I watched it, it was under 1,000 views when I watched it and released 8 minutes ago. I bet you YouTube erased my damn comment on there because I left a whole really nice comment and told him I was going to remix that video. You guys know I remixed his other song. Like if you look at my songs, like the intro I did today, where are my songs on here? It's supposed to say Truth Mafia Music, but I don't see that playlist. Hold on. Probably hiding it. Did I pass? Oh, right there it is.
Hate seeing ads? It's almost 2025. You don't have to anymore. The internet is almost...
That is not what I wanted.
This track was written by Tommy Truthful.
That's the Nephilim one. That was a good one. The one I did on his was really good, though. But I'm sure you guys heard it. If not, just go to that playlist. You can hear it. So now we have some more stuff I want to get into. Where is my... Let me make sure everything's still working good. So screen share real quick. Okay. I want to get into this slide. Let me see. Make sure I have everything on there. I put a lot of work into this one. What time is it? 10:53. Yeah, we got enough time. I'll knock it out. I got the doctor's early tomorrow. What was my mom talking about? Why did she text me so late? Oh, Mom. She's tripping right now. She's always worried about everything. Okay, so let's do this part now, guys. I can knock it out relatively quick. And thank you, my Cherie, for all your love, support, and you're an amazing moderator. I just want to let you know that I really do appreciate you. Angela, where you been, girl? I haven't seen you in a while. And whoever texted me from Oklahoma today, you sent me some screenshots and asked me if I'm the real Tommy Truthful and if this is still my number. Yeah, it is, friend. Whoever you are out there in Oklahoma. They're like, is this still the real Tommy Truthful? And then they send me screenshots of, I don't know what the hell they were talking about, but I think we were both confused. But yes, this is the same Tommy Truthful, as far as I know. Have I been cloned? Well, only time shall tell. But I share the same genetic makeup as Tommy Truthful. Let's just say that. Now let's share the screen here. It's been tough. Lost your number though. My number 234-425-2099. And for all the trolls, I'll just block you. So anybody knows, don't call me, text me. And if I feel like calling you back or you're a friend of mine, I'll return the call. Or if you're a customer, if we need a call, then I'll talk to you. I'm a very busy person. So you could text me. I get thousands of text messages. Of course, that's my business phone. I just give you guys 234-425-2099. And then I got my new iPhone 16, which only a few people have that number. I think I gave Jay that new number. If not, Jay, I got to give that to you. But yeah, there's only a handful of people that have that number because I don't want it blowing up all the time. All right, so let's go over this now. This last, damn, we still got a lot of people up in here. This last part of our thing. All right, so I added to this slide, and we got a lot of new people in here. So we live in some type of simulation. I've told you guys this over and over again. It's not just the movies, the news that's coded. It's your name too. Your name is coded with your mother's name, with the hospital you're born in, the school you went to. It's all coded. So we're going to take a look at some things. Let's just slide through them all real quick to show you where we're going with it. That's Google's quantum chip, the Sycamore chip. And remember, we were talking about their new quantum chip that they just came out with. So that's why I wanted to bring this one up. And the sycamore tree is supposed to be a connection to heaven to earth. Look that up. And you see this building here. What's it look like? Syringe. This is a slide my boy Richard did. Shout out to Richard. But that was the tornado one. We already went over that video. And then it gets into Stranger Things and Dimension X, which is going to tie into CERN, the Demigorgon, these different entities. Dimension X opens as 237, which what's that number from, guys? The freaking Shining, remember? We'll get back to that in a minute. But in room 237, that's the room that contained the ghost of the dead woman who emerged from the bathroom and tried to strangle Danny. And Danny, he's a carrier of the Neo Code. He's one of the chosen ones. He shines so bright. He has abilities, and it's coded to Danny's name, all of it. But I have all this stuff about the Upside Down, Dimension X, some real stories, and even these stories with Stranger Things, they come from actual stories, guys. The Montauk Project and then Project Rainbow and the Philadelphia experiment. Look, that was on October 28th, that 128 code. And who died on that day? Matthew Perry, right? So we got some cool things we're going to go over here. Freddy Krueger and Vecna are the same exact archetype. They're a dream demon. And remember Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors? That's when he had all the freaking syringes on his hands. And in Dream Warriors, they put all them kids under hypnosis. And then when they went in the dream world to fight the dream demon Freddy, they all had certain abilities. That was their dream weapon. Some of them were could do karate. The one kid was a wizard. The young melanated kid was super strong. Remember, they all had different abilities. I forget which one ended up giving Fred Krueger a nice run for his money. And the rainbow room, that's a whole another connection to the rainbow, the symbolism of the rainbow, besides it being tied to the Most High and the covenant he made. It's connected to time and the manipulation of time travel, as far as the esoteric and occult symbolism of the rainbow. It also gets into the Hawaiian culture as well. But that was in the rainbow room when Henry got banished to Dimension X by 11. Elle is her name, right? And then it gets into when Elle made contact. And I'll break down how this is actually based on a real story that me and Paranoid American was talking about. I'll actually show you the clip from the story. And here's the Dimension X that appeared in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series. And it's the same type. Of course, this is a lot older, guys, right? Back in the 80s it originally came out. And then 2012, they had a version of it in their multiverse series. But it's like that same type of reality. Don't these kind of look like the Rona spikes? Don't they? That's what they remind me of. Like them little Rona spikes. Gets into some George Bush, the Nephilim. Look at Jacob Rothschild, the head on Unaki Nephilim right there. Look at that head on him. Looks like he could headbutt his way right through a wall, doesn't it? Is he still alive? Jacob Rothschild? He's got to be like 1,000 years old, this guy. When is he ever going to freaking die? All they did is took aliens and renamed them, or the Nephilim and the Fallen, and renamed them aliens. That's their new name. In the end days, Revelations 9:6. The number 9669 is tied to Saturn. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. That was Dr. Thomas Horn. His warning that's a pretty good one to check into right there, guys. And I broke this down the other day. It went viral on my Facebook. There was some weird ritual going on at the Vatican in their serpent room, that same room you see right there. And the Pope was sitting in front of that, which is it's called the resurrection. And it's supposed to be Jesus Christ rising up out of a nuclear event, but it's clearly Lucifer, Satan. You know what I'm saying? It sure ain't Jesus. But just to show you some of the slides that we're going to go over here and talk about. Let's get back to the beginning. Okay, so for the new people here, computer game, which is what we're in, some type of computer system. We're in, God created us, source consciousness, the creator of all things. He spoke us into existence through the spoken word, right? So, and now look, guys, this is my theory on everything through my research. Of course, I'm not God. I don't know for sure, but through my research, what the mathematics proves, and this is my theory on it. So, let me light this blunt up real quick. So we're in some type of computer game, and it's some type of simulation that God created us for. He created for us to incarnate down here in our flesh suit and experience the physical world, to learn from it. But then I believe it's been hijacked by these parasitic entities known as the archons, the fallen angels. You call them whatever you want. Some people call them aliens, jinn. They are some type of a brain parasite. They're very parasitic, and they feed on our energy. They can't create on their own, so but what they can do and what they're very good at doing is mimicking. So they can take anything that's created and invert it. That's why this whole reality is all about inversion. They can take something that already exists and manipulate it and tweak it, and create a new version of it. But they can't take, like we can. God gave us that gift where I can take something out of my mind and create it and bring it into a reality. You can too. Obviously, any of you out there that are artistic or draw or create sculptures, whatever it is, that you can do this. Even creating content you're creating, they can't do that. So, computer game. We're looking at 2 ciphers with this one, and that is English ordinal, which is based on A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, all the way through Z is 26, and Chaldean, which is based on 1 through 8, which adds up to 36. That goes back to the Akkadians. It's one of the oldest forms, right? And computer game is 137 in English ordinal and 52 in Chaldean, which the 137 number is very sacred and tied to the Freemasons, the secret societies. You take the 47 by 90 degree Freemasonic compass, you add it together, you get that 137. And 137 is the 33rd prime number. They said Jesus died at 33 years old, in 33 AD. The third of the fallen angels that followed Lucifer, 33%. They brought man the forbidden knowledge, like these computers, this black mirror that we're on. So what they're doing is trapping us in a matrix within a matrix. They took a copy of the original that God created and created multiple copies of it. It's like taking a website and cloning it. The original website's still there running in the background, but now you can put all these new users on the new variation of it with slightly different rules, slightly different, things are changing now. They call it the Mandela effect. But 137, what's that tied to? Well, barium, which is one of the elements they spray in the sky, and it's part of keeping this reality together, the barium and aluminum, which spells ball. And so barium is element 56, which 56 is mind control, guys. If you remember the movie The Matrix Part 4, the newest one, if you go back and watch that, watch the first 20 seconds of it and pay attention to the numbers. In the first 20 seconds, you'll see all these codes coming across the screen, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the last two numbers you're going to see are 5 and 6. It's 506. So you see that 5 and 6 leaving off the screen, which they're telling you in code, that's the operating system. Operating system's 56 in Chaldean, which is the atomic weight of barium that they're spraying in the chemtrails. Now, the element, the atomic weight is 137. My apologies. And that is the computer game 137, which is hologram device, live forever, hamster wheel, mind control, butterflies, monarch programming, the whole butterfly situation. Simulation is 137 and not one, but two ciphers. English Kabbalah and reverse ordinal. Now, reverse ordinal is just the reverse of English. So if A is 1 in the reverse cipher, Z is 1. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the gifted ones as 137. That's the ones that shine, like in The Shining, the shining ones. The gifted ones, you'll see these people, they're first player characters because FPC code is also 137. And just because you're carry that FPC code and you're one of the gifted ones, it doesn't always mean that you're a carrier of the Neo code, but I would say 7 out of 10 times it is. It does mean that. I've seen cases where people that carry that gifted one code don't carry the Neo code, but very, very, very rare. The Neo code's so rare in itself. So if you're one of the people out there that actually have it, and I know there's like, we have a group, right? And there's like in that group, it's almost everybody that has the Neo code. That's because I fill that group with people that carry the Neo code. That's why. So, but I've done almost now going on, I'm almost at 7,000 decodes I've done now, guys. Well over 6,500. I have to look on my chart to see the exact number. And out of that, we're under 250 people that are carriers of the Neo code. And out of that 6,500, I think out of that 6,500, I can't tell you an exact number, but I think it's over 4,900 of them or 4,800, somewhere in that area, that are non-player characters that are NPCs. So even being a first player character is very rare. The majority of the people around us are non-player characters. And whenever I tell someone they're an NPC and not, I don't come at them mean, I just break down their code for them and I tell them, hey, you can break free from this. You just got to know, but I really don't think they can break free from it. But I just tell them that because I don't want to be mean to them. They did pay me for a service, so I'm not trying to be an asshole to them, but honestly, I don't think they can break free from it. I think that's just their code, but what do I know? Maybe they can. So spells casted on the audience is also 137, guys. So we have computer game 137, central unit is 137, and then central unit is also 39, which gets into the element yttrium, which has the satellite in the orange wave. That's that orange wave being emitted from CERN. The Cernunnos, the Celtic god of the underworld, that whole color orange you'll see connected to him. Orange equals 33. It's a big number in Freemasonry, a big color, my apologies. So yttrium, it also has the 88 atomic weight, but it's element 39, and that's Microsoft Computer, Father Time, Stuck in a Box, Time Loop, Saturn Cycle. And then when you go back up and look at the 52 tied to the computer game in Chaldean, it's tied to element tellurium, which is the ball that kind of represents the sphere Earth that they tell us we live on, right? And that 52 is connected to Prison Planet. This is a script, the Moon Trap, memory implants, and it has the atomic weight of 127. So 127 was a huge one. Bavarian Illuminati's 127. Buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell during 9/11. The Rock, he said he was going to be the Polynesian fire god. 120. He announced that 127 days before the Lahaina massacre popped off. Remember? And then 127 is under a spell. 127. Magnetic trap. 127. CERN is the biggest magnet on the planet. They're manipulating something. And that 127 is the Dos Ex machine, which is the supercomputer in the Matrix, right? So you have Dos Ex machine, 127 and 48. 127 and 48. 48 is tied to the simulation. It's also the Soul Trap, Hamster Wheel, horror movie, Cernunnos, who is the Celtic god of the underworld. The quantum computers are plugged into CERN. CERN created the www. The World Wide Web by Tim Berners-Lee. That was 1989, I believe. So all this is plugged in. They tricked us. They got us on these black mirrors, which when you get likes, shares, it makes you feel good. When you go look on a video, you're like, oh shit, I got 1,000 likes on that video. I got 100 shares on it. It releases dopamine and serotonin, and it was designed to do that. It's more addicting than heroin, actually. So it's keeping you on it. It's keeping you engaged on it. And they're harvesting that energy. And all that energy is being fed into another reality. They're trapping us in a matrix within a matrix. That's the whole parasite, the whole archon mind parasite that has infected humanity. And they're creating this quantum digital copy of our soul. That way, when we die in the physical, before we had chances of escaping, going to heaven or hell. Heaven comes from the word head, higher consciousness, crown chakra. And hell comes from the word heel, which is the lower consciousness, that the root chakra, it goes down into the eighth sphere, the lower astral plane. The things of nightmares are down there. So under a spell, 127 magnetic traps, 127 data transfer, and then the 48, I broke that one down for you. And what we're kind of in is the sun is not just the power supply, it's also a portal to the higher realms. And the reason we're seeing two suns as they're opening up Dimension X, aka Nibiru, what they call Planet X, that's why you're seeing two suns, because it's a portal to the lower realms. It's a portal to Dimension X. It's a portal to the realm of the fallen angels. And then you have Saturn, which is the supercomputer, the time cube. The moon, you can't land on it. It's holographic. It's the communication interface modular. And Earth is that simulator, right? Then we have the quantum computers. Like I said, they're all plugged into CERN. Google's achieves quantum supremacy with their Sycamore chip composed of 54 qubits. Now they're on over 5,000 qubits, guys, with the advantage. The Sycamore chip is older technology. I'm just showing you it because the Sycamore tree, it's tied to the connection between heaven and earth. And that 54 number, what was that number in? They Live, remember? In the movie They Live, Channel 54 News was the one sending out the frequency, the orange waves, sending out the frequency through the satellites to keep the masses under the spell of hypnosis. And it says the bricks are falling down, but we will build with hewn stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will change them into cedars. I mean, really think about that for a minute. What are they saying there? It's all transhumanism. Then the building down here, you see that building. I'm not going to touch too much on this building and what this is because I'll get in trouble. But you see what it looks like. Shout out to my boy Richard. He if you look on truthmafia.com, just look at the channel. It says Richard and check out his videos. He is phenomenal, guys. Now, what are they doing right now? They're mixing the iron and clay, the miry clay. They're building the third temple. Everybody thinks, the third temple is going to be a physical temple. Now, they just did the purification ritual, which burned the red heifer. That's a purification ritual to build the third temple. But I don't believe the third temple will be a physical place. This is my opinion on it. I think the third temple, our body is the temple. They're corrupting the temple. They're corrupting the human vessel. And this gets into the nanotechnology, the programmable matter, the black goo, which is a storehouse for the demonic consciousness. It's a storehouse for the fallen angels. It allows these entities to be tethered to us through technology so they can interface here in the physical. From the realm they were, banished to by the Most High. And tethered is 34, Alien Agenda, Apple Inc., AI Takeover, all 34, which is also the number of the zombie. Zombie 34, and that's what they want us. They want us walking around like The Walking Dead. Remember in that movie, Cell, with John Cusack? They're literally walking around like freaking zombies, and the phone goes off. It sends out a signal. It's like a movie that came out in like 1995 or something. It's a real good movie, though. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Cell, Cell. And it sends out a frequency. Everybody starts killing each other. they get like super raged and ramped up, kind of like the Kingsman, where they had the chip in the Kingsman. Remember that? And it caused people to act the same way. They all started killing each other, but they could control them through this technology. And element 34 is selenium, which is found in our body. It's used for our immune system. It's a very important element in our body. It's also on the periodic table. Selenium, element 34, is used in electronics. It's used in photocells and solar cells and other lights. So, part of the AI green takeover. Now, I found this on Stranger Things, fandom.com, their Wikipedia page, about the Demigorgon species. The Demigorgons were predator creatures that inhabited Dimension X and the Upside Down. All Demigorgons, this is what they look like. They're kind of like a humanoid without a face until they open up that thing that it kind of reminds you of a flower with teeth, right? Or a Venus flytrap with teeth. But they are some nasty looking things. And what it reminds me of in Aliens or Prometheus, it kind of reminds me of the Xenomorph a lot. Except that how the face opens up is a little different. But if you took that away, it's very similar to that Xenomorph. But Demigorgon is 50, which is Adrena, you know what? And that's all about harvesting the energy. And these are the type of entities that feed on that loose energy, which is being produced as the elites are hurting the little ones to harvest that adrenal, which Google Chrome created something very similar to that name. And the number 50 is the neocode. So neocode, you have a couple different ciphers connected to neocode, right? You got neocode, which is 36. And in Judaism, they believe in every generation there are 36 righteous men and women born that play a role in saving the world. Then in reverse ordinal, it's 128. And then the neocode with the word the in it is 50. So that 50 cipher is also tied to the neocode, and these type of entities are the ones that target these very powerful first player. They're not going to target the NPCs. The NPCs are working for the system. So they're targeting us, and not just the first player characters. They're especially targeting carriers of the neocode, the chosen ones, because we are the ones that they fear. And it's not to toot our own horn, but we are special. Don't ever let them make you think you're not special. You are. You literally have the ability to create your own reality. You have the ability to bend and manipulate reality just like 11 does. But they teach us from the time we're born, they give us limitations and teach us that we can't do this, that we couldn't. It's impossible to have telepathy, even though we used to speak telepathically. So everything they've done, the over-sexualization of us, everything, it's all been to lower our vibrational frequency and to dumb us down. Now, here's when 11 makes contact. And this is where it gets into that story. Let me play this clip. I'll play it on my phone for you real quick, guys. Let me pull it up. Okay. 1, 2. Hold on a second. Just give me 1 second. I gotta pull the video up. Should be right here. All right, right there it is. connected with. Right there it is. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me get past this part. Now, this was from With Me, Donut, and Paranoid American. And this story he talks about here, he really explains it well. This is a true story of when 11 makes contact and the mother gate opens. All right. And when you look at that, Dimension X opens is 237. We know room 237 in The Shining. And Danny has what? The abilities, just like the kids in Doctor Strange. Or not Doctor Strange, my apologies. I said Doctor Strange. Doctor Sleep. Remember? They go, the vampiric entities called the True Knot that feed off the fears of the children. They murder the children and feed off them to extend their own life force, that they tether their lives to each other so they can live forever as long as they eat well. Yeah. So all the kids they go after have the shine. They have that ability. They are carriers of the Neo Code. They're telling you stories in all these different movies. And there's certain archetypes that are based on actual things. Well, let me get to... I gotta skip this stupid commercial part. Sorry, guys. Hopefully this phone don't die when I play this part. Why is this commercial on here so long? Oh, you know what it did? It took me off my own video. Hold on. There we go. I wonder if it does that to other people when they click on that video.
Truly start. So here, I see that Tommy's in here. I'm going to bring Tommy in. I'll keep talking about this Time Samplers issue 3 a little bit later. It's a nice content that I don't think anyone else has seen unless you bought the comic, and which is available, by the way. You can add Time Samplers 3 to your order when you're checking out with the Illuminati comic. Let's get Tommy in here, though. Are you there?
Yo.
Hey, man. Welcome aboard.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Good. Don't go nuts feeding his cat drugs right now. So just me and you for a second.
Oh, is he? That's what's up. So
his cat was peeing all over him the other day. So now he's on drugs to stop that.
Oh, let me. Sorry about that. Turn that off. My apologies. Damn phone.
So needs no introduction. This is Tommy Truthful, the leader of the Truth Mafia. He's the one that ended up connecting me to so many other people that I've done shows with now. Anya Saru, Jay Dreamers. The list is truly endless. And we also have a really dope series that we've been doing together for over the last year, I think, called Conspiracy Cinema. And that's one of these sticker sheets. We'll be doing a giveaway in a little bit here of a Conspiracy Cinema sticker sheet. It's got Bigfoot acting as Jack from The Shining and Edward Scissorhands and the Obey Alien and all kinds of cool stuff.
I like that. And I'm digging them glasses. I'm digging Slimer back there spinning on the 360. I see him. Okay, Slimer. But yeah, Conspiracy Cinema, I've always had a lot of fun doing that with you. I'm really excited about Stranger Things 5 coming out. Have you heard anything lately on when it's going to release?
I just heard 2025. I don't know if that's been shifting around or not. I intentionally, the shows that I really like, I intentionally remain ignorant about them. So when they come out, I don't know a whole lot going in, and I can just sort of be impressed by everything as a surprise.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the Stranger Things one, bro. I can't wait for it to come out. But, they keep lying to us. They tell us 2020. It was supposed to come out 2024, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, who knows anymore? There's so many shows that I fell in love with, and then they'll go on like a 2 or 3 year hiatus and then come back. And it's a little bit weird because Stranger Things, it's all about kids, right? But you can't skip like 2 or 3 years and have the kids come back like they're adults at that point.
I know, right? And Stranger Things, a lot of people don't know this, but it was based on like real life events with the Montauk Project. They were actually going to call the show, if I'm not mistaken, Montauk, weren't they?
Yeah, they were going to name it after the actual Montauk Project, which was a book series by Preston Nichols, and I can't remember everyone else's name in it, but he was the one that claimed that he had invented this Delta T antenna, and that if you put someone in what they called the Montauk chair, which was somewhere in Camp Hero, this is at the eastern tip of Long Island, Camp Hero, that when you go there, you would sit in this chair, and if you already had some sort of telepathic ability, the chair would sort of amplify it. It would add, electricity to whatever you were doing telepathically, and just like 1000x it. And this is represented in the show as 11. 11 basically straps into this chair, and they put a helmet on her and stuff. And she does this remote viewing trying to find, I think at one point early in the show, it's like a Russian general of some kind. And she sees this Russian general, and she can kind of identify what he's wearing and maybe where he's at. But as she's doing that, something notices her. Like there's some sort of evil entity, and that essentially is the Gorgon, right? Isn't that what they call it in the show?
The Demigorgon?
The Demigorgon. The Demigorgon. And Demigorgon was leveraged from a Dungeons and Dragons sort of vernacular, but that's the analogy they give, is that as she's in this astral plane and spying on our Cold War opponents, this Demigorgon sees her, and now because the Demigorgon notices that a human is breaking through this like membrane between reality, it comes into our reality. And this is all 100% based on the Montauk Project book series, where they claim exactly this happened, that someone sat in the Montauk chair, they pumped up the Delta T antenna, and it literally created a rift in space-time that invited this huge monster to come in that destroyed like all neighborhoods. This is also linked to the Philadelphia Project, I think, where there was claims that people got fused into the side of a boat because the boat sort of like transitioned through time. This was also one of the things that the Montauk Project sought to explain. They said that the reason people got fused into this boat is because it literally like dematerialized it and rematerialized it in the future, and it had shifted just inches, and that was what accounted for people getting stuck inside of it.
Yeah, the Philadelphia experiment, and they said, so that's when these entities came in that they call the others or the walk-ins. And they were, this is the theory on it anyways, that them entities are what are possessing people. Like when we see shape-shifting, when people think someone's a reptilian or something, they're really possessed by one of these entities. And these entities are from, if we live in a multiverse, they're from a world like ours that's already came to its end. So they're trying to experience the life again, get back into that life wave. Have you ever heard of this theory?
No, I haven't heard of Life Wave before.
Yeah. Gigi Young talks about it. She believes they're from the Mars timeline. I'm not really into Mars, but if we're looking at it as another dimension or another reality in the multiverse, I could get into that. But a planet that I shoot in a rocket to, I don't know about that one. But the Montauk chair, yeah, bro, they said that Montauk monster got around. It was like running around inside there until and they brought it out. So a lot of that show, yeah, it's based on, it seems to be some real life events. And Montauk, that's Montauk, New York, which I grew up not far from there, Paranoid American.
Yeah, my grandparents were in Long Island, I think somewhere in the center of the island. So we had been to Montauk a few times. I mean, this was way before I knew what the hell any of this was going on. I was like 6 or 7 years old. But yeah, I mean, like I grew up in that same area.
Yeah.
Yo, what up, Tommy Truthful?
What up, Donut? How you doing, Paranoid Donut? So that was from mine and Donut and Paranoid. So he was talking about this part right here, right? When Henry initially encountered the shadow entity in Dimension X, the entities first, either literally or just in Henry's vision, adopted the voice and form of Alice. And before eventually adopting the persona of Dr. Brenner, the entity claimed it wanted to study Henry and that he was the most magnificent thing it had ever encountered. The entity encountered Henry to take control of the various demigorgons that roamed the landscape, which Henry achieved by systematically penetrating the mind of each individual creature, because they're all like a hive mind. This is what they want to plug us into, this hive mind. Henry and the entity developed a complicated relationship via psychic connection. Henry repeatedly attempted to seize full control over the entity and the hive mind, but the entity would retaliate, forcing Henry to re-experience troubling memories. And then 11 makes contact. The mother gate opens. 1983, making contact. That's what Paranoid American was talking about right there. That gets into the Montauk Project, and it gets into this book that I'm reading right now, guys, on Stephen King. It's called The Institute. I'm about more than halfway done with it, and it's a phenomenal book. In this book, The Institute, they were actually stealing children. And you got to wonder, like, Stephen King, man, how does he know this shit that he writes? You know, he had to be around some serious evil shit. That's all I'm going to say. But in the Institute, they would get these kids with certain abilities like 11, telekinesis, telepathy, remote viewing capabilities, and they would find them through the schooling system. They would have these tests and then locate the kids based on these tests. Then they would kill their family, murder their whole family, and take the children to these black sites where they would be trained as psychic weapons. And if you took like 6 of these kids, you could bind them together, get them to link up and amplify their psychic abilities. And then you could give them a target, give them a picture or a shirt of a person, the target, and they could focus their psychic energy on that target, causing the target to kill themselves, commit suicide, drive off the road, go over and pick up a thing of pills and OD on them, even if they didn't want to. And it's crazy. I know it sounds science fiction, but when you look on the CIA's own website, it's declassified. We were really running these type of experiments, guys, 110%. So it said after the massacre and Henry's disappearance, 11 became the solo focus of Dr. Brenner in the series of experiments. 11 would be immersed in a deep psychic state via sensory deprivation tank. I go to these once a week. It's where you're immersed down in this big tank. You can use it for meditation or to step out of your body or whatever, but you're immersed in this big tank and you're laying down. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's about your body temperature. There's a ton of salt in it, so you're buoyant, you're floating. And when you close the lid on it, it's completely pitch black in there. The only thing above water is your face, your mouth, and your nose. Everything else is submerged. So it's kind of it's a crazy experience, to say the least. But if you have certain abilities, psychic abilities, or you're able to remote view, it amplifies that signature. So it allows you to do it more. Remember, every time 11 would go to the upside down or go to remote viewing, she would, just like when they emptied that pizza cooler and put her in there with all the water, that's what she was doing. It was a version of these sensory deprivation tanks, right? Now, we skipped past some parts here, so let me go back because I was just showing you that part because that's what Paranoid American was talking about. Let me go back to here. Okay. Where were we? Okay, we were right here. This is where I started playing it. We talked about the number 237, that being tied to the synagogue of Satan, the global currency reset. So this is all these resets, these cyclical resets, the collapse of reality. They're trying to merge these realities now. That's the number of skull and crossbones, which is known as the Brotherhood of Death. And what I'm saying is Dimension X opens as 237, right? Which is the room in The Shining. And that's the room where the ghost of the dead woman who emerged from the bathroom that tried to strangle Danny, who had these abilities. He was so powerful. In Doctor Sleep, you think it's all about the little mixed girl who is one of the most powerful telepathic dream walkers. And Rose the Hat, the vampiric entity, is so scared of her. They won't even bring her into the True Knot part of their team because they would pick certain kids with certain abilities, like the blonde girl that they pick in the beginning of that movie. She's in the movie theater with the pedo, remember the pedophile? And she makes him carve something on his face. So every time he looks in the mirror, he knows that he likes little girls. And when she goes outside, they try to kidnap her and abduct her. And the Spanish guy, who's one of them vampiric nomads, she whispered to him and got him to go away because she was like, I think it's called a pusher. They can whisper and suggest things to you and make you do them, right? Very powerful ability. And she tried to do it to Rose the Hat, the one that was always wearing the hat in Doctor Sleep, but it didn't work. Remember? Rose was like, I think not, girl, and laughed at her and grabbed her wrist. And so they end up getting the girl in the car and they're telling her, you can live forever, but they don't tell her that she had to die here in the physical world. And then she's reborn as one of these entities and she's binded to them. She's binded to their life force. That's why they're called the True Knot. They're all binded to each other. And in that movie, you watch one of them die, the oldest one, the grandfather one. And as he's dying, you see him shapeshift. So you see his true form. This thing is some type of freaking reptilian demon, guys. You see it shapeshifting. And Rose is all sad as he's dying. And she's like, You've watched empires crumble. You've been there and fed on kings. So this guy was around since like Mesopotamia, and they drove around like nomads, like gypsies, preying on children. And remember, when Rose the Hat, while everybody else was doing their thing, she would go sit up on the RV. Remember, guys? She would go sit up on the RV, Indian style, with her legs crossed, and she would meditate. Well, what she was doing was she was dream walking. She was stepping out of her body in the astral plane. And while all these kids are dreaming and sleeping, she was going into their dreams. And she could see the children that had abilities. She could see the kids that shine so bright. So the more powerful their ability was, the brighter they shined. The Shining. That's where it all comes from. Stephen King talks about this shine in every one of his films. In The Dark Tower, he talks about it. If you ever watch The Dark Tower, that's the tower that keeps these worlds separated. And there's an evil archonic entity in that is trying to destroy the tower to bring the worlds together. I highly recommend watching that one too. So anyways, Rose the Hat, she ends up, they're killing that little boy, number 19, the baseball player. And as they're killing him, he asked, are you guys going to hurt me? And they're all surrounded him like a pack of wolves, right? Excuse me, guys. And she's like, yes, we are. And he's like, why? The kid's scared to death. Why? And she says, it makes the steam stronger. And then she pulls out that, it's like an old-fashioned razor that you would shave with. She pulls that out and just stabs him in his damn leg. I mean, these people they're not people. They're literally entities. They're a representation of the archons, the vampires of legend. The vampires and the reptilians are one and the same. It's the same entity. It's the same archetype. And as this little boy's life is fleeing him, the steam starts coming up, which they're feeding on that. And that's a representation of the Loosh, that life force that leaves the body. So in the real world, it's kind of a play on both things happening at once. They're showing you what happens when the elites sacrifice one of these little guys, and then the entities that they made a deal with, because the elites are the black magicians, the sorcerers, they made a pact with the jinn or this demon or this archon, and that entity feeds on that energy being released. That's that loose energy. And the elites, they're doing it because they're harvesting the adrenal, which is stopping the telomeres in their DNA from withering. Your telomeres are like a wick in your DNA. So it's like a wick in a candle. When that wick blows out, that's the end of your life. It literally halts that. They've figured out how to stop aging. And that's where the whole ambrosia thing comes from out there in California, where they're doing blood transfusions, taking blood of the youth and transfusing it into older people, and it halts aging or cures them certain health elements. They've known how to do this, not through studying, but they've been doing it since the beginning of time. When Bathory was slaughtering her maidens, you guys know that Countess Bathory, and she would bathe in their blood. I mean, these people been doing this shit. Vlad the Impaler, they said he'd impale people and dip his bread in their blood. And I know it's a hard thing to talk about, but it's very real. They really do it. So Rose should be up there meditating, dream walking, and that's how she would target the people. So that's how she found that little boy. And he was pretty powerful. He would always hit home runs because he had this ability. He didn't know he even had it. He wasn't as powerful as the little girl. And when they were killing that little boy, number 19, the baseball player that always hit the home runs, that little girl, she was dream walking and she watched it happen. So she was super powerful because Rose never ran into one that could do that ever, that could spy on them and see them in that form doing what they were doing. So Rose looks back and notices her. She sees her for the first time, and that's when Rose is like, I gotta have her. I gotta find her. So she starts going up on her RV every night and astral projecting, doing this form of dream walking where she's going out and looking for that little girl. Well, that little girl knew she was coming because Danny warned her, right? And she set up a trap for Rose. So when Rose dreamed walk into her house, the little girl looks like she's sleeping in bed, which she was at the time. And Rose comes in through a window upside down, remember? And then lands. And then she sees all these filing cabinets, which is how the little girl had her brain. So Rose was really in that girl's mind while she was asleep. And she goes to start opening up each filing cabinet to look through the little girl's mind to see all what she knows. And that little girl slams one of the filing cabinets on Rose's hand, and it breaks her hand. And then it throws her out. At first, she's stuck. She can't get out. She's trying to get out. She can't get out. She starts panicking. The little girl wakes up. She's taunting her now. She said, I knew you would come. And Rose is just shocked, like, damn, how is this girl so freaking strong? And when she finally does pull her hand out, it rips her skin off. And then she comes out of the astral plane and out of that dream walking state. And I'm talking, it launches her, guys, off the top of the RV, where she flies down on the ground. Boom! And that's when she pulls the Spanish dude in the trailer, like, we got to have her. She's the most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life. And he said, well, shouldn't we make her one of us? And Rose was like, no, we can't. She was so scared of her because of her power. She said, we cannot make her part of the True Knot. But Danny was even more stronger than her. Remember, Danny was in the original Shining, because Rose meets Danny at the end when they go back to that hotel where the Shining happened. And Danny, he learned how to make these like kind of mind traps where he would trap all these entities in them. So they freed all them. And them freaking things devoured the shit out of Rose at the end. But she tried to make a deal with Danny and said, look, why don't we kill the little girl, and me and you, we could take over the world together. She said, where have you been all my life? Because he would hide his abilities, because he knew that they would come looking for him. That old black man was like Danny's teacher, just like Danny was teaching the little girl. I can't remember the little girl's name, but he was teaching that little girl how to use her abilities, how to hide them, stuff like that. And that old black guy, the last time he came and seen Danny when he was a little boy, he said, you shine so bright. You shine like the sun. He said, good entities would see him and the bad entities would see him, and they would come for him. And that's so true. You know, in the astral plane, any of you guys that have certain abilities, telekinesis, telepathy, if you're a carrier of that Neo code, I tell people this all the time when I do their decodes. I hope you're ready, because now that you're aware of what you are, so are they. And they will come for you. You'll have angelic entities come, and you'll have other entities come. But I will tell you this. I don't know if it's because we believe in it and we put so much power in it, or there's really just power in the name of Jesus Christ. But there really is power in the name of Jesus Christ. Is it because so many people believe there's power in it, or there's just power in it? I don't know. I don't know which one it is, but I do know this. They fear that name. There's a lot of power in that name for some reason. And okay, so let's go to this part. Upon being banished to Dimension X in 1979, now remember, Dimension X and the Upside Down are two totally different things. The Upside Down is kind of like a mirror world of our reality. Dimension X is something totally different. But these entities are in both of them worlds. They're inhabiting both of them worlds, and that's what Vecna's trying to merge them two realities with our world. He's trying to bring them all together. So, upon being banished to Dimension X in 1979, Henry Creel came to view the dimensions as a realm unspoiled by mankind, and went on to create or seize control of the hive mind, the physical linking all life within the dimensions. This is exactly what they're doing in real life with technology, guys. Through apparently having some relationship to the upside down Dimension X potential role in the upside down's invasion of Hawkins is still unclear. So at this point, season 4, you don't really understand. You know they're two different things, but you don't fully understand them. But I believe I do, because I think I know what they really represent. And it's the A sphere, the lower astral plane, and then you have the mirror world, right? Which is kind of like it was kind of represented in that movie. What was that one? Us. Wait, yeah. Us. So there's Get Out and Us. Us kind of represented that mirror realm, where they were from down below or the upside down, right? And there was a different version of us, that evil twin version of us. There's a real reality like that. And then Dimension X would kind of be the lower astral plane, the eighth sphere. That's the thing of nightmares. That's where the fallen angels are from. So a mysterious alternate dimension existed in parallel to the human world. This dimension had an unclear relationship to a similar alternate dimension known as the Upside Down. The two dimensions were visually distinct to one another, but contained the same creatures and life forms. The dimensions was characterized by desolate landscapes infected with vines with clusters of rocks floating above in a scorched sky. Where does that sound like, guys? Don't that remind you of Godzilla in King Kong? Remember the rocks that Kong was jumping on and in the earth and they floated? That's exactly what they look like in Dimension X. You've seen it in the intro of the video. So there were vines with clusters of rocks floating above a scorched sky, just like in the Matrix, they had the scorched earth. Or there's many different movies like the Matrix that show that scorched world. What's that other one? The Maze, or is it called The Maze? I think it's called the Maze. The Maze, the Scorched Trials. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember. But the Vines, a race of humanoid predators, a flying bat-like species, and a dark floating mass of sentient particles were all known to inhabit this dimension. Sentient particles. This is like CERN right here. Maze Runner. Thank you, Lucas Williams. As I'm reading this, I got my phone open so I can read your guys' comments. I got all three of my phones open so I can read Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. Yeah, Maze Runner. Yep. Just like in Maze Runner. So there's the Matrix. Oh, and Dark City. Dark City has the scorched earth too. Remember the scorched skies? The Matrix talks about the scorched skies. Dark City, Maze Runner. Yes. So it's that same archetype. 1943, the USS Eldridge, a U.S. Navy ship, was used in the secret government experiment known as both the Project Rainbow and the Philadelphia experiment. This was on October 28th of 1943. So that 128 day, October 28th, that's Bill Gates' birthday, guys. Mr. Jabber, that's his birthday. And that's also the day Matthew Perry was killed, which was Julia Roberts' birthday, who starred in the movie Leave the World Behind. The vessel went missing. The vessel had traveled to Dimension X, with most of the crew being killed in the process. Only Dr. Martin Brenner's father survived the disaster. On his deathbed, he finally divulged the truth about the incident to his son. And according to one account, it was the equipment which changed the trajectory of Henry Krill's life forever. Henry, who was only a small child, was exploring the Nevada caves one day while playing with the spyglass. While exploring, Henry stumbled across the scientific equipment. The technology unexpectedly activated, transporting Henry and the rogue staff member to Dimension X, killing the staff member in the process. In the alternate world, Henry saw glimpses of strange creatures and was exposed to the influence of a shadowy entity. Now, Henry Krill equals 36, guys, like Neocode and telepathy. And what else does Henry Krill equal? 113. Now, 113, here, I'll come right back to this in just a second. Let me show you for our new people. 113, stop screen share. 113 is the number of what? The Phoenicians, which are the Canaanites. Vampires, 113. Alien reptilians is 113. It comes from the Babylonian Baba Kamal. Baba Kamal 113 in the Talmud states that the Jews may lie and circumvent the Gentile. Not honest is 113. Fiction, illusion, disinfo, politics, infidelity, mainstream, not true, dishonest. Flip it around. What is it? 311, March 11th. Which is the day they said the whole pandemic happened, right? It's also the day Fukushima. And you see, even in reverse reduction, coronavirus pandemic, 113, preparing for disease X, 113. So we see that's a number tied to that, okay? Which is one of Henry Krill's main numbers. Let me go back to there. I thought this was all pretty fascinating because I didn't know the whole Dimension X part of it. And you guys know me. Once I seen that, I'm like, oh, I got to decode this shit. So Henry Krill, 113 and 36, and Neocode's 36, and telepathy's 36. He doesn't just have telepathy. He has many different abilities. This guy he actually steals abilities too from the people that he kills. So Henry, who was only a small child, was exploring the Nevada caves one day while playing with we read that part. The creatures was exposed to the influence of a shadowy entity. Yeah, okay. Let me go back up. And the next one. Henry survived the ordeal and eventually returned home after 12 hours in this other reality, but with wildly different blood. So his blood altered, guys. RH negative, RH null, and altered personality. Brenner later recovered the stolen equipment, also finding the spyglass belonging to Henry. Brenner was able to eventually track down Henry thanks to the dropped spyglass, and would eventually make him the first of a new series of test subjects at Hawkins' laboratory. According to this account, it was Henry's exposure to Dimension X and or the mind flare at a young age that led him to develop special psychokinetic abilities. This appears to contradict Henry's own account of events, in which Henry apparently discovered the mind flare in Dimension X at a much later stage in his life. And again, they are the same exact archetype. Henry, Vecna now, and Cougar. Freddy Cougar was burnt for allegedly being a pedophile, and they said in the original version that he wasn't a pedo. They said they added that much later on. Did you guys know that? So was he already a pedo by A Nightmare on Elm Street 3? I got it, because Paranoid American was the one that told me that, I guess. In the original one, he wasn't. And remember, all the neighbors burnt him, and Vecna got burnt from being in that dimension. The lightning, the plasma was burning him. That's what made him look like that. So they both had that burned character, and they're very similar. If you go back and watch it, the stuff, I think there's even a Nancy in Stranger Things 4, if I'm not mistaken. Got to go back and look, but psychokinetic is 48, guys, and that's what he had, the psychokinetic abilities. And that's the number of simulated reality, 48. Dream weapon, 48. Where did we first see that? Remember in the beginning of this? Let's slide back. 48. That was the number of Cernunnos, the number of the Dos X machine tied to the supercomputer running this reality. Horror movie is 48. And so is Hamster Wheel and Soul Trap. Let's go back to where we just were. So, bam. Dream Weapon, 48. And what's Fred Part 3? Fred Krueger 3? Dream Warriors, where they are put under some form of hypnosis, and that allows them to have the ability. All of them are very powerful first-player character archetypes. I guarantee if we decoded them in real life, they maybe not all carriers of the Neo code, but I guarantee they carry either that 137 number. I'm talking about their real name, the character's real name, because them playing that character, it was all meant to happen in this reality. So there's a reason they played that character, and they have similarities to that character. I'll actually have to do a decode on that. I've been wanting to decode Freddy Part 3 anyways for a long time. Dream Warriors, so we'll have to do that one. But the psychokinetic abilities, this appears to contradict Henry's own account of the events, which he thought he went at a much later stage. And 1979 was Henry's banishment. This is where he went crazy and started killing all the kids in the Rainbow Room. That was on September 8th, guys. September 8th of 1979. Henry, now an orderly at Hawkins' lab. He was like a janitor there, right? Cleaned up after people and all that stuff. He tricked test subject 11 into removing an implant in his neck that was suppressing his abilities. A vengeful Henry then used his restored powers to murder all the other test subjects. He attempted to do the same to 11, but she stood her ground and ultimately overpowered him. A gate unexpectedly opened in the Rainbow Room. That's 11 down there. She's just trying to protect herself, right? She's like pushing him up against the wall, and he's merging into it. Well, the Rainbow Room is 666. That's the fallen angels of 666. And what else, guys? Bill Gates V word, I'm not going to say, because of the algorithm, which gets into the nanotechnology, the black goo. What did they scan to see if you had that? They were checking our foreheads, remember? So, you know what that's really tied to. The nanotech in that, I believe, was to stop people that had these special abilities, that actually have the 12-strand angelic DNA, that are most likely survivors of these global cataclysms like the plasma apocalypse that Jay talks about, and their parents. So when all the elites go underground in the bunkers and take all that advanced technology down there, they have whole cities down there, whatever. They say during the ones that end in fire, some end in water, some end in ice, some end in fire. The events that end in the fire, the plasma, these are the ones that mutate and change people's DNA structure. And they say 70% of the populace dies, but then another small percent survives, but they're all messed up. You know, they're like something out of the movie Wrong Turn. They're all fucked up from the radiation and everything. And then a very small percentage, 1 to 3%, their DNA mutates just in the right form to where they actually have abilities, telekinesis, telepathy, remote viewing, superhuman strength. Some of them even flight, different abilities. So Henry, he was stuck in this between these worlds for an unknown period of time. He fell between two parallel planes. He was constantly electrocuted by the lightning leaping across the twin planes. The damage infected by the lightning marked the beginning of the bodily transformation. From this point on, Henry slowly morphed into a form barely recognizable as a human, into that Freddy Krueger archetype. 11 used her powers to pin Henry against the wall of the Rainbow Room and started to disintegrate his body. However, an interdimensional gate then appeared in the wall and transported Henry away before sealing up and disappearing again. So it took him to Dimension X. Some point after surviving his fall, Henry exited the interdimensional space and entered Dimension X. Through the alternative account of Henry's life, showed that Henry had visited this dimension once before as a child. Henry seemed to have no memory of this as an adult. At first, Henry believed the dimension to be a kind of a purgatory, but he soon changed his mind, coming to view it instead as a realm unspoiled by mankind. Henry began to traverse the alien terrain, encountering so many things, including a species of faceless humanoid predators. That was the Demigorgons, right? Sorry, guys, I need a drink. And the whole time he's trying to link up with these damn things, trying to take them over because they're all connected through this hive mind, through the plasma particles that are up in the sky, which the mind flare, they were kind of in the shape of the spider. And remember, Henry was always messing with spiders when he was little. Now, what's interesting, Bohemian Grove, they have the whole thing about spiders. Weaving spiders shall not come here, something along those lines. And when you look into the archons, these interdimensional entities, they're described in many different ways. Reptilian, robotic, but one of the main descriptions is like a spider. I'm not joking. Look into Gnosticism, into the archons. That's what they're described like. That's why in that South Park episode, remember they had the queen spider? That's a representation of that spider god. Even Baal is represented as a spider with 3 heads. In the Ars Goethe, which is the 72 demons, the lesser keys of Solomon. Eventually, Henry discovered the most extraordinary thing of all, a living organism made up a swirling storm-like particle. Using his abilities, Henry formed a psychic connection to the particles, recalling the giant spider-like predator he had envisioned as a child. He used to draw it when he was little. He used his power to reconstitute the particles into a giant spider-like entity with the flame-shaped head. In time, this being would become known as the Mind Flare. And when Henry initially encountered the shadowy entity in Dimension X, the entity first, either literally or just in Henry's vision, adopted the voice from Alice, Virginia, and Victor before eventually adopting the persona of Dr. Brenner. The entity claimed it wanted to study Henry and that he was the most magnificent thing it had ever encountered. The entity encouraged Henry to take control of various demigorgons that roamed. So it was telling him to take over the demigorgons, which is interesting because they're all connected through a hive mind, but it really wouldn't let Henry take it over, right? So it seems like it was the one running shit. Henry achieved this by systematically penetrating the mind of each individual creature. Henry and the entity developed a complicated relationship via psychic connection. Henry repeatedly attempted to seize control over the entity and the hive mind, but the entity would retaliate, forcing Henry to re experience troubling memories. It would cause him to have these like crazy flashbacks. 1983, that was making contact. After the massacre and Henry's disappearance, 11 became the sole focus of Dr. Brenner. In a series of experiments, 11 would be immersed in a deep psychic state via sensory deprivation tank. She could observe people in the different physical locations while in this frame of mind. Brenner sought to use this power to spy on the enemy Russians. This is when she was astral projecting and she was walking around in that, like, it was like 1 inch of black liquid, that black goo looking liquid. And you know, that's a real reality. And there are really people that can do that remote view. While 11 eavesdropped on the Russian spies. Now, this is the story directly from the Montauk Project that allegedly really happened in real life from one of these kids they stole that has psychic capabilities that they put in the Montauk chair, and this happens. While 11 eavesdropped on the Russians from within her mental void, she accidentally encountered a monster. At Brenner's request, 11 made psychic contact with the monster, and by extension, Vecna's hive mind. That was on November 6th of 1983. And I guarantee if we look into that day, guys, I bet you some very significant events throughout history happened on that day. Not to mention that 116611 number is tied to pedophile. Just, you know, and Vecna's archetype is kind of like Freddy, and there's that whole connection. But then 116, flip it upside down, it's 9/11 too. That was the year I was born, 1983. But I guarantee there's some crazy connections to November 6th. If someone goes and looks it up, what all major events happened on November 6th, guarantee there was some big ones. So while the creature fed off of a large yellow egg, Vecna's hive, I don't remember that part either, the creature feeding on the large yellow egg. Do you guys? In the moment contact was established, a second gate cracked open in the wall. So in that moment, when she made contact with the entity, this is when the second gate was cracked open. So you have Dimension X, where she threw Henry. Now the upside down cracks open. However, this gate led to a completely different looking dimension than Dimension X. This new dimension was a perfect physical copy of the human world. It was one that was frozen on November 6th of 1983 and infected or inflicted with Dimension X's spores. That was them stupid little, kind of looked like it was snowing, remember? And what were they showing us there? I think it's some type of nuclear fallout. because it kind of reminds me of nuclear. If you watch the movie or the series Chernobyl, it has them same looking spores. And then think about this, guys. The chemtrails, right? The Morgellons. Have you guys heard of Morgellons disease? The Morgellons are supposed to be some type of synthetic fungus, some type of synthetic spore, some type of synthetic nanofungus that gets into our body, and that's why certain people's body rejects it, and they got these little fibers growing out of them because they're having an allergic reaction to it. But through them weaponized funguses, they have learned how to control people and hook them up to the hive mind. They show us this in HBO's The Last of Us, where the zombies are freaking fungus zombies. Remember? They're all connected through a hive mind. Watch the video I did on the zombies in that movie. I just put it out. I couldn't put it on my YouTube because I would have gotten in trouble, but it's on my Facebook, Truth Mafia Podcast. Go check it out. It's very fascinating. So that realm is infected with these spores from Dimension X and these vine-like creatures. This place would soon become known as the Upside Down. It's like the mirror world of ours that Vecna somehow got control of and infected. A similar name, Dimension X, appears in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series. So this and look, it kind of has them spore-looking Rona things. Now, I put up here a timeline of when it first happened, the whole Code Red. That's what we're going to call it while we were on lockdown, Code Red, which happened November 17th of 2019, which is the 322nd day of the year. Okay, on a leap year. On a non-leap year, it's November 18th. On a leap year, it's November 17th. Or I might have that vice versa. But Stranger Things upside down equals 2019. That's the year everything changed in the world, guys. 2019, and it happening on the 322nd day of the year in Wuhan will depopulate the sheeples 322. 322 is the number of skull and crossbones. And what do they want to do with the third strand DNA? They want to add 3 strands of 22 to your 44 base pairs of DNA. That's the whole third strand DNA, the 322. Add it up. 22 plus 22 plus 22 is 66. Now go on your Gematria calculator and type in Corona. What's it equal? 66. What's black goo equal? 66. And in the 66th book of the Bible, it's where they talk about the mark of the beast for the first time. Mixing the iron and clay. The flesh, the iron and clay of the last kingdom. They're building the third temple, which is us. The skull and crossbones symbol originated with the Christian military order, the Knights Templar. It goes back to the pirates that were employed through the crown. The Tudor family built all that. It's also a symbol for poison, right? Death, sacrifice. It's never nothing good when you see it. And you see, look what they're doing right there. They all got their arms crossed. They're doing the fingers crossed, right? What's that represent, guys? Osiris, the god of resurrection, the dead god, just like the Black Panther does. And the only reason I put this up here is because on this day, if you remember, back in the year 2023, just a year ago, I think it was this, what day was it? Oh, you know, it was October 6th. You can go watch the video. It was me, Jay Dreamers, and Paranoid American. I think we were doing a video. A matter of fact, I know we were. We were doing a video on Stranger Things. Talk about synchronicity. We were doing a video on Stranger Things on October 6th. It was either Stranger Things or They Live. I can't remember exactly. I think it was Stranger Things though. And it was October 6th, and I said everybody was talking about what we thought was going to happen in the next couple of days. I said October 7th, 8th, and 9th, we're going to have some major world events, and this is why. And I broke it down. And I was talking about this, it being the 322nd anniversary year of Yale University, which created Skull and Bones. And what popped off the very next day? The war in Israel. The very next day after I said that. It wasn't even the very next day, guys. It was late at night on the 6th. You can go watch that podcast, it's still up. It was probably like an hour away from becoming midnight. And then by the time I woke up the next morning, all that had already popped off. Between Israel and Hamas. And, this year they had them crazy events on the anniversary of this. And then if you go back to 2022, in the year 2022, July of 2022, 7/1. So remember, Stranger Things 4 comes out. It's taking place in 86. 1986 was the year they passed the law for the jabs. And it was supposed to be to protect the children, right? So they couldn't be harmed. But that law actually had nothing to do with protecting the children. Go look it up and read it. It protected the pharmaceutical companies so they couldn't be sued. And that was the year Stranger Things took place in. And the whole Stranger Things connection, it gets into the black goo, the nanotech, which is in the you-know-what, which is a storehouse for the demonic consciousness, the archons that they're trying to release and open a portal within our body, within the temple, to allow it to be a storehouse for this demonic consciousness. It's all tied to that 322 number, and I can't remember exactly what happened this year on that day. I'm trying to think. Some big too. We had a major event this year. Oh, damn it. I can't remember. But anyways, these are what are running the world. They didn't all die during the flood. They're the ones creating this technology and releasing the fallen angels that they will tell us are aliens. Creating this whole transhuman agenda. Agenda 2030, which gets into Ray Kurzweil. Then you go into Agenda 2045, immortality technology, where they truly believe that by 2045, we will be a hologram that lives forever in this other reality that they've set up, this phantom matrix that's being powered due to their technology that's eating organic matter to power up this artificial reality. I mean, it's some crazy shit. And they put this in all their peer-reviewed study and research papers. You can look and read it for yourself. The work's out there, guys. But yeah, that's really all I got today. We did a pretty long one. I can't believe this many people stayed in the live the whole way through. Damn, how many people do we have in the whole live? Because just on here, we got a ton. Let me look real quick. Yeah, we still got a lot of people in here. So before we go, first thing I want to tell you, if you're on my YouTube, guys, and you scroll down right here, you'll see my backup channel. Go subscribe. Take 2 seconds out. Go subscribe. Because this channel could be gone any day. I have one more strike and my YouTube is gone forever. And ever since I lost my big one, Illuminati Media, with 150,000 followers, They've never, ever, ever let me get over 10,000 again. And you see where we're at right now. So we're getting close to getting knocked off. I promise you we are. And then my backup to my backup is this one where I only posted one video so far. Damn, it's got 509 views on there. That's weird. And it's only got a couple subscribers. It's just a joke video. It's a bear walking backwards, but that's over. I'm going to start putting a lot of videos up on there, especially my uploaded ones, so you can follow both of them. And don't forget, come over here, check out, oh, what is this? Eyewitness video shows powerful 7.4 earthquake. Oh, shit, where was that at? Damn. Holy cow. 17th, the beginning of Saturnalia on the Pope's birthday. Damn, look at that dog. He's like, what the hell is going on? That dog ain't liking that shit, is he, guys? Damn, that's a powerful one right there. Let's watch that again. Let's watch that one more time. Holy shit. Oh, boy. That's how you know it's powerful. I mean, look, it's moving. Them cars and dogs flipping out. That dude tried to run. He almost fell, bashed his head on the wall. I'd have been scared to death, too. I ain't going to lie. That just happened, guys, today. So here, these events are still going on as they're trying to keep our attention on all this stupid shit that doesn't matter. And they're opening portals that's messing with our reality. Cyclical events are taking place. This was eyewitness video shows, powerful 7.4 earthquake hitting whatever that is. Vanut? I don't even know where the hell that is. Eyewitness video showing almost 7.4 garage in Port Villa. Where is that? Let's look that up, guys. Search the web for this. Huh. What the hell is this place? That's where it hit, right here. It's pretty, wherever it is. Very beautiful there. Oh, that's like a freaking island, huh? Damn, what's that by? Just a tiny little island. Oh, so there's the Solomon Islands. Holy cow. There's Papua New Guinea. Australia. It's over by, kind of by Australia. Damn, that was a powerful freaking... Shout out to all my people in New Zealand. Did you guys feel that one? Well, I guess Australia's there, so it's closer to Australia than New Zealand. We have a ton of followers in Australia and New Zealand. It's so bizarre. What's up, Eric? How you doing, my brother? Thank you. Nice work. I appreciate you too. My boy Eric there. Brian Faust, how you doing, brother? It's not my birthday, if that's what you're saying. Happy birthday too, but shout out to you. Excellent content as usual, brother Tommy. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate you. Appreciate all y'all. I try my best. I just try to share stuff with you guys that I'm interested in and stuff that catches my mind, because catches my eye. Everybody's constantly recycling the same shit, and I can't stand that. I just want to try to be a little different than everybody else. You know, I might look at similar things, but I'm going to come at it my way and my perspective. I'm not just going to parakeet the same shit everybody else is parakeeting. So annoying. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty nuts right there. Is this another one? Oh, look at this one. This is a drone footage of it. Hold on. Let's see the drone footage. Damn, that little island got rocked. I wonder if a tsunami comes after that. 7.4 is a pretty big one. No volume. There's no volume on this one. Let's see if then people react. This one, I don't know. It doesn't really look like. Looks like everybody's chilling, right? Seems like the drone knows something's going on, though. Wait, I see rocks moving. There, these things fell over. But the people look like they're just like, they're just going about their shit. You would think they would be hiding. The last thing you want to do is run by any of these things and try to hide behind them. I'd stay far. I'd go right out in the open and stay there. Oh, here's some boulders that fell down. More boulders that fell down. So it's definitely knocking boulders and shit down. How an earthquake causes now right after I said that tsunami thing, look at this. How an earthquake causes tsunami. I got a feeling a big one's coming, man. A big one. It's gonna hit the West Coast.
300 years ago,
It's gonna hit the whole freaking West Coast, man. Just like in that movie, Knock at the Cabin. 38. Go back and watch Knock at the Cabin. 38 minutes in, guys, and you'll see what's coming. They show us that. Damn, look at that garage. Well, we seen that one. 7.3. Trader Joe's giant sinkhole opens up inside California's Trader Joe's. What in the hell is going on in this world? Giant sinkhole? I hope that's not the giant sinkhole because I mean, you're just showing us a bunch of sinkholes. Where's the clickbait ass shit? It says giant sinkhole opens inside Trader Joe's, and then it shows me multiple sinkholes. That one that looks like it's in a road, that's tiny. This one that looks like it's from the 80s, and it clearly is because look at these old cars. Yeah, 1972, 2010. It's clickbait. Bunch of clickbait bullshit. No, it just lied. Or it didn't show it to us anyways. That sucks. Bomb cyclone. Untamed wrath on apartment complex in Kent. There's a blue car. Blue might survive. Or did they figure out how to destroy the blue now? I don't know. We revamped the website. This is truthfultv.com. We got the grounding shoes over here, guys, the grounding clogs. Come over here, grab you a pair for Christmas. They ground you to the elements. Amazing. And yes, they really work. Unfortunately, we might be sold out, honestly. There might be more in silver. Nope, these are the only sizes we got left. Damn, we sold almost all the way out. We got size 8 for women, 6 for men, 12 for women, 11 for men in silver. And then the black ones, 8 for women, 6 for men, 7 for women, 5 for men. That's it. But we should be getting some new ones in. So if you rock them sizes, check them out. They just sold so quick. I couldn't even believe it. All of them, most of them were gone in the first day. All the sizes that everybody wears. And these are just some of the products that are on the front page. If you go to our shop up here, it'll show you all the products. Right down here is where you book your personal decode. And it's really simple, guys. Let me show you this real quick. So many people tell me, Tommy, I don't have PayPal. You don't need PayPal, guys. You go over here. You click, I want it at 9:35. Now, just because you click 9:35 a.m. Wednesday, December 18th, that's not going to be the day you get your decode. That's going to be the day I start it. You know what I mean? So it's all done via email. And it usually takes anywhere from 4 to 10 days. If we're really, really booked, it could take up to 14 days until you get it back. But I'll let you know the exact time frame and everything. And right now, people are getting them right around the 5-day mark. So it's not too bad right now. You put the name you were born with. I'm just going to put email you want it sent to, right? Phone number 234-409-099. I'm the only one that has access to any of this info. And like I was just telling one of my customers last night, it's all encrypted, and my computer, my server that has all this info, guys, it's not even online. It's offline because she asked me if I could send her decode, but I was out for the weekend. I said, well, I can't, honey, because even though I have my phone anywhere I'm at, where my server is, it's offline, so I can't get into it unless I'm in the office. And I do that for security reasons, because I have my people's stuff on there. I'm very, very anal when it comes to protecting my people's stuff because I'm responsible for that. So, I'm not trying to be sued or nothing. You add your message here, and your message is going to be your date of birth, 1-17-1983. Now, see how I wrote that? But some parts of the world, they write it backwards. So always spell out your month. At least put the first 3 initials of it, Jan, so I know it's January. And then use this line to write whatever message you want to give me. You can add your message there. You need to write your first and last name, the name you was born with. You can put up here, Tommy. I was born with that name, but then it got changed because I was adopted. So then it was Kuhn, which is my sister's freaking dad's last name. None of them names are my name, even that one we were adopted. But describe some of your interests, so like your favorite color, whatever, because I'm creating you a custom image too. So let's just put a color, but this is just for an example. So boom, boom, boom. Then you would hit book now. It'll take you to this part right here. You can hit Venmo checkout, pay later on PayPal, PayPal checkout. If you have an account, you can log in. But let's just go to continue. Okay, so if you pay offline, here's the ways you can pay. Cash App, right? And I got a new Cash App now too. So if you want to donate, I'm going to probably put this one on there. You can donate to Tommy Truthful at 369 because people told me they try to donate to the other one and Cash App wouldn't even let them donate. So them bitches were censoring. Ain't that crazy? Like, who does that? I'm going to sue the shit out of them. But this is the one you can pay to offline. Boom, boom. Or you can pay to the other one. I'll have that on there soon. And if you pay to that one offline, then you just email me or text me and say, I actually give you a whole breakdown right here what to do. If you pay offline, it tells you exactly what to do. You can pay to my Apple Pay through that phone number or Venmo right there. Venmo, boom, boom. Really simple. So that's the pay offline method. If you want to pay online, and if you check that and don't pay to nothing, it's going to show unpaid, and I'm not going to do your booking. So don't think you cheated the game and slid through, because that's not how it works. PayPal, you just go over here, your country. I'm just putting this in just for whatever, whatever. Go to place order. Okay. And with your number, I would never call you unless, I had to reach out to you for merchandise. Like if you bought something and I need your address or something, or I couldn't get a hold of you and I needed your email or something for your decode. That would be the only freaking way I would ever reach out to you. Sorry, something went wrong. Whoa, is it doing this now? Not letting people book decodes? Log out. Oh, this is interesting. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see what's going on here. Let me shut that off for a second. Let me go over to PayPal. What do you guys got going on? You guys doing some crazy shit to my... I'm not even logged into PayPal, so what are you talking about? Oh, man, maybe that's what people are talking about. It's not letting them... Okay, let me go back. Let's try this again. Okay, check out. Continue. Something sneaky's going on. Something sneaky's going on, guys. Place order. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. Back to the screen share. You know what? It was sneaky. It said I was logged into my PayPal, but I was not. Okay, so see this part? Now let me go back so you can see what I did. All right, when you get to this part here, you got all your stuff in there. You can pick one of them. You just go to continue. You're not going to pay offline. You're going to pay with PayPal. But again, you do not need a PayPal account. Place order. I'm going to show you real quick how easy this is. See where it says pay with debit card? So it's trying to put my PayPal account in because it wants to log you in. But you just go to pay with debit card. And then, put whatever your pay. I'm not going to put my real PayPal account because then it will try to log me in. So I'm going to put the pedo at Facebook.com. I'm gonna buy that email right there. Continue to payment. So see, I just made one up, but you got to put your real one in. Unfortunately, United States, your phone number. I'm not gonna do all that. Put your card, your expiration date, and then this is all through PayPal, so it's a secure checkout. You can do pay later if you qualify for that, and then it's like a couple easy installments, or you can pay whenever you want. Pay now. Here's the most important part. After you have all this filled out, if you just see how it says create account and pay now? You don't want to do that. See this button right here? Create my PayPal account for purchase protection. No, bitch. Just hit PayPal, pay now. They're trying to tell you, create my PayPal account to get purchase protection. It's already encrypted. It's already protected. So you're already using PayPal to check out. What they're trying to do, if you don't have a PayPal, they're trying to force you to make one. You know what I'm saying? They're very sneaky little fucks. So you just turn that button off and then hit pay now and you check out with your debit card. Very simple. After all that's put out, just like you would on any site with any debit card. Very easy, guys. You don't have to have that. And if you're logged in, because we have a social media platform over here, so I don't know if some of you guys are aware of this, but now if you go down here, go to the bottom, go to groups right here, and you can come over here and share information with other like-minded people. So you got Matrix Codebreaker. He's dropping all his stuff every day. He shares in my group. He shares in his group. My group is Truthful Social. There's 1,954 people in there. Matrix Codebreaker, he's got 33. He's building it. Yeah, I'm going to help him. I'm going to add some more people. Guys, go join my boy's group too. He's always decoding and stuff. So he put this up. Here's someone that said, "Oh, heal yourself." They got their own website too. I shared their website and I gave them a VIP thing just to show them some love. So, you can heart it like, "Oh, I'm not logged in." Shit. If I was logged in, it would let me like it. That's why I say join, because I'm not logged in. Then if you go to this one, boom, you see, got the thing over here. Different post I post. That was post I put up 9 days ago. 9 days ago, me and Jay Dreams. I'll probably put this one up right after this tonight, guys. This one right here, I said one of our family members' websites, and that was Heal Yourself. They said, "Wow, you just blew my mind. Big hugs and thanks." I did that. I didn't even know that person at the time. I just did it because they have their own website. They've been doing it for a long time, and they're one of our followers. So any way I can help my people, I'll help you guys. If you have your own website, you're trying to get going, of course I'll help you. I believe in helping my people. That's what we're supposed to be, like family. This is the one I did. I did on GMOs. Check that one out. And then there's Aaron, just different people. So we just started this one again. So we got to build it up. But you see, it's pretty much like a Facebook, guys. You have your own page, and then people follow you, and you put your about section. You can earn different badges. Then all your different contents down there, your different videos you share, your different posts, just like Facebook, but better. No censorship. So with that being said, I love y'all, and I thank you guys so much for rocking out with me tonight for 3 hours and 14 minutes. We're out. 314 Pi. Truthful out. All links are in the description. I love y'all.
Yo, we living in a sim, reality's a game. NPCs around us, they all look the same. Soulless entities controlled by AI. Quantum computer running life, asking why. Are you just a player, controlled by machine? Or a first player character, living the dream? Tap into the code, break free from the lies. Decode your Gematria, see through their disguise. In the simulation, what's your role, what's your fate? Are you real or controlled, can you navigate? Elites use Gematria, secrets in the code. Find out your archetype, let the truth unfold. Super quantum computer, pulling all the strings. NPCs moving like puppets on a swing. The Matrix got nothing on the life we lead. Green letters falling, it's the truth we need. Are you just a player, controlled by machine, or a first player character, living the dream? Tap into the code, break free from the lies, decode your gematria, see through their disguise. In the simulation, what's your role, what's your fate? Are you real or controlled, can you navigate? Elites use gematria, secrets in the code. Find out your archetype, let the truth unfold. Archetypes defined from NPCs to Neo. First players rise, let your true self show. Do the